Oh my god, hello! Boy, this is gonna be a different video for my channel for sure. I am absolutely positive I'm going to garner hate. But I will thrive. I will bask in the glory of the pain of others, and it will become my own person. Listen, it's okay if I do it because I'm punching up. I only have like 40 subscribers, so it's okay. They can't retaliate against me because then it won't be fair. Listen, I watched the first 5 minutes of this video. Boy, oh, whoa. I knew I had to respond to it. I had to. I've actually been wanting to do videos like this for a while now. I just didn't know how to approach it. But fuck it. I'm just gonna do it now. We'll see how it goes. This video's been garnering a lot of attention online. As you can see here, it has oh, being ratioed heavily. If you didn't have the dislike button revealer, you wouldn't know. But Jesus, it's almost a full split here, almost entirely 50-50. Um, Gar being mentioned, even though the split is almost right down the middle, I for the life of me could not find a comment hating on this video. I couldn't find one. All of them are agreeing with her. Very suspicious. It's off the bat. Very, very. That's not a good sign. Um, I scoured through a lot of them. I just could not find one. I have no idea. Whatever though. I guess. Hey, listen, boys. We're here. We're here for the ride, right? We're gonna respond to this girl. Let's see what she has to say. Listen, not off to a good start. Look at this. Trigger warning. Come on, really? Come on. Come on. Who gives a fuck? You're on YouTube. God damn it. Sanitation.
I think anyone who's been online the last few days has seen the surge of hatred towards the She-Hulk show on Disney Plus. It has been
Absolutely.
incredibly hard to
Absolutely.
miss.
Stop it. I hate her. I hate her. Look at all these comments. Look, the show not for kids. Cherry picked comments. I love that. Feminist Hulk. Oh, the end of the Avengers. One of Disney's worst shows. Oh, it's obviously unfounded. How could anyone be talking about this? It's obviously incorrect. I'm getting ahead of myself, people.
Calling it feminist garbage, woke trash, a
Ugh.
lot of seemingly very angry people, which honestly seems on brand for She-Hulk, so good job. Some comments just went straight to personal attacks, which is
Oh
always
no, not the personal attacks. Oh no. Oh my god. How could they? Oh, they talking about her. Wait, that's right. This is her. She got hate, I guess, for another video about enjoying the show. Not in this one though. Seems maybe she might have deleted those bad comments. That's
fun. I love
possible.
seeing how
I
people
wonder
want to
why
spend
people
their
hate this
weekend.
show.
This one is my favorite though. Like, it's so funny.
Jesus, do I gotta review every comment? Hey guys, take two. The emoji. Sorry for the re-upload, but I trimmed out a minor Thor: Love and Thunder spoiler because I forgot it had only been a month or so since it released and didn't realize it wasn't out. Nope, Rogers got married. Something you'll be unable to. Whatever. I don't
Like,
care
what do you
about
want me
her
to say
cherry
to
pick
this?
comments.
Oh no! All my marriage prospects, I've lost them. I'm gonna die alone and broke with no money.
I gotta go back there. She just went British for a second. I forgot about that. Guys, but why? Why is she British?
My favorite though. Like, it's so funny to me. Like, what do you want me to say to this? Oh no! All my marriage prospects, I've lost them. I'm gonna die alone and broke with no money. Who
Beautiful.
cares, man? It got to the point though where there were so many comments complaining about it and criticizing it that I said maybe I should rewatch the episode. Like, maybe I missed something. So I
Rewatch? You only watched it once. Yeah. I watched it 3 times, lady. It did not get better. not, it didn't stand out to me as this harrowing show, and it wasn't deep in the slightest. It did not come off as that at all.
Rewatched it, and yeah, no, after rewatching it, I am officially convinced that the reactions to the show boil down to a few things. One, expecting a brand new character at the start of a 9 episode series to already be fully developed.
No, I don't know what she's saying there. What do you mean? What? Expecting a fully developed character at the beginning of the show? What are you talking? But wait, that is what she is, though. But we don't know that, right? When we're watching it, because we're just getting introduced to her, at Jen as a character. She is fully developed. What? What? I'm not. I. That's not what I was expecting. I don't know. Let's go back. We gotta deep dive. We gotta EFAP this fucking
So I
video.
rewatched it, and yeah, no, after rewatching it, I am officially convinced that the reactions to the show boil down to a few things.
Please tell
One,
me.
expecting a brand new character at the start of a 9 episode series to already be fully developed. Two,
That's not. I don't understand where that's coming from. A 9 episode show with a character that's being already fully developed on episode one, character wise. What? I don't understand. I wasn't expecting that at all. I oh okay. I was all right. What's our next point? I don't know what she's talking about, honestly.
purposefully misinterpreting or interpreting scenes in a negative way that I feel
Ah,
is disingenuous to the full context of what was
disingenuous.
happening in
Oh,
the episode.
interpreting scenes that are negative or seen as negative in a different way. Ooh, I wonder what scenes could she possibly be talking about? I wonder. It's a mystery to me. I have no idea. I think my brain, the gears in my head aren't working correctly. I just have no idea, guys. Listen, uh, I, there are tons of scenes in at least the first episode, I could say, that are just objectively horrible. All horribly written dialogue scenes that just, oh my god, destroy the almost near foundations of past characters and lore. It's unfoundingly bad. It's indescribable how horrible it is. So when you listen to when you say it's let's go back. Let's see what she said again.
Be fully developed. Two, purposefully misinterpreting or interpreting
Misinterpreting those scenes? Bullshit. They weren't misinterpreted at all. I don't believe you.
scenes in
Not
a
in the
negative
slightest,
way that I
lady.
feel is disingenuous to
Oh,
the
it's
full context of what was
disingenuous.
happening in the
Yeah.
episode. Or three, whether intentional or not, I feel like they're parroting this sentiment where people don't speak up when things are bothering them and they don't get the help that they need. There's also a fourth option where
What does that mean? What? What are you talking about? What is she talking about?
or interpreting scenes in a negative way that I feel is disingenuous to the full context of what was happening in the episode.
I
Or
get it.
three, whether intentional or not, I feel like they're parroting this sentiment where people don't speak up when things are bothering them and they don't get the help that they need.
What are you talking about? People have been speaking up about this show since it aired 2 weeks ago. What are you? What? 3 weeks ago now? What? What are you? What? I don't. What are you talking about? Parried? I don't know what she's talking about. Parroting lines. Let's go do that again.
Three, whether intentional or not, I feel like they're parroting this sentiment where people don't speak up when things are bothering them and they don't get the help that they need.
This show has bothered tons of people. What are you talking about? People have been reviewing this show for a few weeks. They hate it. It's if you're gonna appeal to popularity, it's pretty clear that this show is not good. Objectively, it isn't good in and of itself. Disregarding the appeal to popularity. Oh my god, excuse me, guys. Get ready for this amazing manly burp right about now. Just kidding. Woo! A big one's probably gonna come up later. I'm doing this live, folks. Not actually live, but you know, no editing involved. Why? I don't need to edit, and never. I don't know what she's talking about. Parroting these lines. Listen, people hate this show. It's actually your view is more uncommon. If anything, you're going against the grain. All right, lady. You're not parroting the right views. Listen, that's fine. If you like the show, you like the show. But we'll get to the objectiveness of like how good it is, I guess, in your video here. What's your fourth reason? Please tell me.
There's also a fourth option where people just don't want to hear women talk about their life experiences.
Oh, that's right. I hate women. I hate them. Listen, I hate girls. Boo! Boo, ladies. I don't like women. Pussy, not for me. You can't be serious, lady. How many people do you genuinely think don't like the show because they hate women? Except for me, of course, because obviously I do.
Capacity ever, even
Oh,
in a comedy
God.
targeting women.
Comedy? Oh, we're going to talk about comedy? The comedy of She-Hulk? Captain America. Is he a virgin? Is he not? Who did he have sex with? What is that the comedy you're talking about? With the comedy, what about the other scene? You know, being angry and fearful is just the actual existence of every woman ever. Isn't that great, Bruce? Comedy. Even the second episode, Mom, Dad, just because I'm a Hulk doesn't mean I have to flaunt all my Hulkness at you. Come on now. Jesus.
But let's dive into it. A lot of the
Please.
actual discussion points I've seen tend to center around the interpretation.
Oh my God. I guess at least she's like blurring out these people's names, but like, why would she? Honestly, I don't know. Look at all these cherry pick comments. I like her dynamic with Bruce until we got the big modern feminism moment where she made the situation all around herself and completely ignores the fact that Bruce has his own trauma to deal with. Tried to commit suicide, spent over half his adult life on the run or in hiding, and that most of his friends are dead. But woe is me, I'm a woman. It was hella cringy. Oh my God. It seems like whoever this person was has a working gearbox. Oh, brilliant! Oh wow! I thumbs up. I approve of that message. Man, he's got a point though. He's obviously talking about that horrible dialogue scene. I'm sure she'll get into it too. We've all seen it, honestly. We've all seen it. The one where she talks about being a woman and being catcalled is obviously worse than being a Hulk. This is a good point. I didn't even make it my last video. Bruce tried to commit suicide. That makes that comment from Jen even worse. That makes her even more of a cunt. Hey, she should know that Bruce literally tried to commit suicide and failed. The Hulk wouldn't let him. The Hulk wouldn't let him kill himself. Oh my God. She's well,
that Jen thinks her life is a lot
I'm not going to
harder
read
than
all these
Bruce's,
comments.
But actually, I think the episode has her acknowledging the exact opposite. To me, it
please.
seems like she understands the weight of his trauma enough to state
How?
multiple times that she doesn't want that life.
What? That's not the same as disregarding his trauma. That's just saying that she doesn't want to be a Hulk. Right? They're not mutually exclusive. Listen, I could say I don't want to be a Hulk, but I can understand the trauma that Bruce has been through. And that it's obviously horrible. Not that they're this comparable anyway either, because Jen doesn't have an alter ego. What are you talking about? This is going to be a long. Prepare for the long haul, folks.
But let's break it down from the beginning of the lab scene.
Please do it.
Where are we? Did we hit a spaceship? What happened to me?
I think I'm gonna die.
Oh, she's cutting a lot of scenes there. There was a lot of dialogue she's cutting. She's cutting.
So I turn into a Hulk now, too.
To me, she seems very much so not against asking men for information or for help, as she asks Bruce a lot of questions in a very panicked way because she knows he has the information that she needs.
Yeah, I guess. You cut a lot of scenes out there. To me in that scene, I would say she was very confused. That scene wasn't even my biggest problem. in the episodes. There's obviously this weird connection between her and Bruce that we haven't seen. So they're like foreplay with each other, not actual foreplay. Like their dialogue scenes between each other, they're like coalescing weirdly because it just doesn't seem like very coherent. They wasn't very coherent in the way they were talking. But if we were to analyze those scenes specifically, maybe I agree that she's noticeably worried and she doesn't know what's going on. Sure, that's fine.
Because I'm better than you?
Oh, did I just skip another thing? I went forward instead of backward. Hold on, go back.
She knows he has the information that she needs.
Yeah, sure.
And he knows more than her.
I was able to use it to completely heal my arm.
Oh. Because I'm better than you?
Oh, there it is, folks. There it is. She's better than him, guys. Yeah, for some reason, Jen's blood is just better than Bruce's. Even though Bruce should have the same healing factor that Jen has, right? But for some reason, the Hulk's internal healing factor doesn't heal like the cosmic power that was inflicted upon him from the gauntlet, but just getting a dose of her blood does, even though it was Bruce's blood that infected her. Oh, it's maddening. Isn't it maddening? It's like the writers didn't know what the fuck they were doing. Ugh, crazy, right?
It's basically different.
In a better way.
And
Ah.
better than you shows that she has a need to prove herself. Don't know where she got that from. Maybe she has
What?
siblings. Maybe it was law school. I have not been, but I have heard it's very competitive.
A need to prove herself? What? No, prove her. What? She was just saying her blood is better than him. A need to prove that her blood is better than his blood. Is Jen a supremacist? Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! But I don't get it. A need to prove herself. Just what? I don't understand. She has nothing to prove. She doesn't want to be a Hulk. What? Alright, whatever. I gotta say, you're maybe just a bit too close to the camera. I don't want to be looking at, your face so intently. I don't like it generally when people's faces are just so close. I can see like into their mouths. If you maybe that's just a preference, honestly. Whatever, it's fine, I guess. I just thought I'd make a little snide comment. Might as well, right? I'm already digging my own grave, I guess, making this video.
And I
Oh,
imagine
boy.
people there need to prove themselves constantly.
Yeah,
Not
and being a lawyer, I guess so. Yeah, there's a lot there. Being a lawyer, I would think is probably very competitive. You got to do. I guess it depends on what. Because not all lawyers study the same thing, right? There are different types of lawyers. Some do divorce cases, right? Some do criminal cases. Other lawyers do other things. They're like medical cases, right? Maybe assault cases, and maybe it's like criminal cases too, thievery. But lawyers, they're more so competing with. I guess in a sense they are competing with each other. In a way, they're competing with juries in a way too, right? If they're doing that sort of thing. Uh, if not all lawyers deal with juries though. This is strange. But this I don't think I don't think that comment was about her proving herself anyway. I don't understand. She just made it was a snide joke, right? That initial thing from Jen. Let's get back to it. If I can get to it.
I imagine
That's a
people
fake
there
fart,
need to
by the
prove
way.
themselves constantly.
Go back
I
again.
have not been law.
I'll find
Maybe
it. I
she
promise.
has siblings. Maybe it was law school. I have not been, but I have heard it's very competitive.
Oh my god,
I
go
was
back
able
again.
to use it to
Here we go.
completely heal my arm.
Oh. Because I'm better than you?
Yeah, look at that. That's just a confused joke comment.
It's just basically different.
In a better way.
And
It's supposed to be funny. That's supposed to be funny, cringy joke. That wasn't funny at all. It definitely missed the mark, and it creates more problems than it solves anything. So this whole thing about proving yourself, I don't know what she's on about. I think she's trying to excuse the inexcusable.
not been, but I have heard it's very
Oh,
competitive. And I imagine
Yeah,
People
that's
there need to
right.
prove themselves constantly.
Sure.
But regardless of where the need to prove herself stems from, that's just a character trait. You can like it, you can hate it.
It's a character trait for her to be insufferable, if anything. That's a character trait too. Would you accept that? A character trait to prove yourself. Yeah, sure. What is she trying to prove though? That hasn't been uh I don't want to say proved again, but I guess so. It hasn't been exampled in any way. Not that I can remember from the episode. I watched the episode at least 3 times. I did watch it more after my first review, and I watched the second episode 3 times again. I don't see anything about there improving herself. Maybe in the first scene, when she goes on that exposition tirade, literally before she becomes Hulk, and she's talking to her coworker, her paralegal, and then the evil man comes in. Her evil male coworker's like, "Oh, you can't do this. Don't fuck up," and she's upset with him because it's her office, whatever. It's bullshit, whatever.
It, but it's a character trait.
Give me that little device thing that you had that kept you as Bruce.
That device was a prototype. It was
That's right. They're
calibrated
talking about the
to
armband.
You want for me, calibrate it to me.
Can't do it.
Yes, you can.
She recognizes his expertise in the lab, or she wouldn't be asking him to make a calibrated device for her. That is
You know what? Sure. Maybe I can give that to you maybe. She literally knows about the armband. The armband that Bruce had is broken, and now she wants one. Bruce is saying that his armband was calibrated to him, even though we don't know where it is now, and it's just gone. And he doesn't use it anymore. I guess. I guess it got broken. That's a horrible thing, by the way. God, there's so much wrong with this episode. Why are you focusing? Why are you focusing on that? What are you trying to say? Hold on, I'm pausing too much. I hate this scene, by the way. It's God.
You want for me, calibrate it to
And she's being insufferable. Give me an armband. Give it to me.
me.
Can't do it.
Yes,
Jen.
you can.
she recognizes his expertise in the lab, or she wouldn't be asking him to make a calibrated device for her. That is clearly recognizing his skill set, his intelligence, and his strengths.
It's also disregarding the fact that the armband is no longer available. And it's also disregarding the fact that Bruce isn't going to make her one for some unknown reason. Like, okay, so I can give that to her. Maybe she does realize that Bruce is smart, hopefully, right? And he can do these things. And she's very eagerly like, give me one. I don't want to be Hulk. That's fine. But then why? She's focusing on the wrong thing. Why isn't Hulk making one for her? Why couldn't he just do that instead of train her? Right? There's always a possibility, just like what happened in the first episode, that the armband breaks. But then Hulk can make spares, right? He can make like 1,000 of them, couldn't he? Oh, fucking what? Why not? He could have like the same 3D printer thing on fucking that was in No Way Home or whatever. That Spider-Man that Peter Parker used to make his wingsuit. He has all this Tony gear. All this stuff here was from Tony and Bruce coming together to help turn him into Smart Hulk. He should be able to do that. You're focusing on the wrong thing. I don't care. Ugh. This is not the thing to focus on this scene. Then I agree with you. Bruce should be able to do this, but that's not what you care about, I guess.
No, I don't want to be a Hulk.
This is fine
I've
too.
got my own office. I have
Jen,
business
this is
cards.
it. There is no going back to what you were before.
She doesn't want to give up her life.
I agree. She doesn't. I agree. That's totally fine. From start to finish of this episode, well, not the end, I guess. She doesn't want to be a Hulk.
That is not a crime. Not
I
everyone
agree.
can be stoic Steve Rogers sitting on the subway in a completely different century, all alone.
This is a multi-year journey.
Oh, we're
you're
skipping
about
that.
to-
You're gonna skip you're gonna skip all that like intro you can go into. The fact that she doesn't want to be a Hulk, and that's her character, and that's a valiant character trait. That's a real character trait, other than just being what did she say? What did she say she was just a minute ago? Fuck. Pushy? No. That's what I would call her. Driven, whatever. But I'm fine with that aspect of Jen until like the horrible scene that came out. That was fine. She didn't want to be a Hulk, even though at the end of the episode she tells people and she literally reveals herself as a Hulk. Uh,
Embark on
Mm.
coming to terms with being the Hulk.
You said multi-year?
that's
About
right. It'll take
15
years.
give or take.
15 years?
That is a huge chunk of time.
That
You
is a
do so
huge
much
chunk
in
of time.
15.
Over a decade. That's over a decade. That's a long time. That's a long time to like prepare yourself to be Hulk and all the terrors that come with it.
Years. Now just imagine someone coming to you and saying, "Nope, those are gone." In a blink of an eye, you do not have that future. I mean, I don't know.
Well, that's not necessarily true because Jen's model isn't comparable with Hulk's at all. We find that out very quickly, I guess. Not at this scene, but she would know that because she's watched the episode. So that doesn't matter.
Guys, but that would mess me up a little bit.
It doesn't mess her up though because she can control her powers, not like Bruce could.
Anger and fear.
Those are like the baseline of
Oh, here it
anyone
is.
just existing.
All right.
Cringe.
This is a true statement.
Oh, it's so true. Oh, my heart. Oh, it's so true. Oh my God, guys. Oh, do you ever just like walk outside and think, oh my God, I think a man from the darkness is gonna come for me? Listen, maybe if you live in like Zimbabwe, oh my God. If you fucking live in Saudi Arabia, maybe not. I don't know if you live in Saudi Arabia. Listen, if you live in any third world country, yeah, there are dangers to being a girl. If you live in any first world country, the first thing you think of is not, oh my God, if I walk outside, I could literally be raped. Wow. um, let's see what she's
And
gonna
it's a
say.
statement that is relatable to a lot of people watching this show. And
Maybe,
her say-
I guess so. If how many girls have thought about walking outside and thinking that they're gonna get attacked? I guess probably a lot, right? If you live in if you're a girl living in a suburban like community, how scared really are you? You're in the dark, you're coming from home, and you're just at your doorstep. Honestly, how scared are you though, really? And if you're that scared, you're gonna get mugged or raped or assaulted, get a gun. Guns are easy. Hey, guns kill men just as well as anybody else. Trust me, it happens a lot.
saying it is not saying that other people don't have it worse. She's just acknowledging that, yeah,
Let's look back at that scene. Why don't we? Did she cut out anything from that scene?
Anger and fear.
Those are like the baseline of any woman just existing.
All right then.
this is
Well, she's saying that's the baseline, right? So, fear and pain can be just the baseline of any girl just existing. Well, I could say the same thing about anyone existing, right? It's really just a cringy line. It is a cringy feminist line, honestly. I don't. Why are you defending it? Just because it's relatable to you personally? Is that why? Well, have you've been scared time? I'm sure you have. You probably have been scared at one point in your life. Maybe you've been a little paranoid. That doesn't mean that those things happen to you, and that doesn't mean those things happen to anyone else, right? I guess that's what you're saying.
a true statement. And
I don't think it's an actual true statement. Not for her anyway. Like what difficulties has she been through? We don't know. We don't know we don't know. We just don't know. We haven't seen that. They're non-existent. She's just saying it for saying its sake, as if to speak to girls watching the show. I guess like you. Like, oh yeah, that does happen a lot to women. And me. What?
people don't
Whoopsie
have it
daisy.
worse. She's just acknowledging that, yeah, in the day-to-day life, there are a lot of things out there that kind of suck.
I agree. Things do kind of suck a lot. They're not just tailored to girls though. Oh my God. I love it when she just opens her mouth. Don't you? I love seeing those pearly white teeth.
Feels like if I don't transform, I'm gonna die.
Also,
Exactly.
when put in a glass box with, like, spinning wheels of doom coming at you, yeah, that's
Oh, I don't know what you were looking at, honey. Those weren't spinning wheels. Those were blades. Yeah, but she's a Hulk, so it
Even if
doesn't
your
matter.
cousin knows that you're gonna be okay in that moment.
But does he though? What if she like didn't transform? Like what would have happened? Right? She'd just be dead. We'd have a dead Jen on our hands. Bruce doesn't know for a fact. I guess he would hope. I guess the show is just like, yeah, it doesn't matter, right? She'll turn, obviously. Why wouldn't she? But what if she didn't? That would be real. Like, what if something terrible happened here? She gets injured. She gets horribly injured, and she doesn't transform. And then Bruce has to deal with the fact that, oh my god, I just killed my own cousin. Wouldn't that be a much better scene? That would be way better than what happened here.
She takes a few breaths. She calms down.
Oh god, look how awfully composited this is. They're just not even in the room, are they? I know I'm not. Looking back on the scene again, it's just like, God, horrible CGI. It really is.
Ben, right now.
Yeah? And I'm conscious.
Like upon rewatch, that reads as surprise.
You still can't control.
What? Let me go back. I have no idea what she's saying.
Like spinning wheels of doom coming at you. Yeah,
Right,
that's
the blades
also
of
traumatic.
death. Very traumatic.
Nope.
Even if your cousin knows that you're gonna be okay in that moment, that's traumatic. She takes a few breaths. She calms down.
You're still Jen, right now.
Yeah? And I'm conscious.
Like upon rewatch, that reads as surprise.
I don't know what she's saying. What reads a surprise?
You still can't control.
She cuts it
when-
right there. Why does she moves on? What is that? What do you mean? I don't understand. That she's surprised? That she's fine? Or that he's surprised that she's fine and in control?
Conscious.
Like upon rewatch, that reads as surprise.
I guess so. Maybe that's what she means. But I guess yeah, he wouldn't be. Bruce was not expecting her to be in control. He thought she would have an alter ego, but she doesn't.
You still can't control when you transform.
Okay, so how do I turn back into Jen? How did you do it?
This is literally her asking Bruce for help.
Yep.
Because she knows he's been through it. This is her acknowledging that he has.
Yeah, she's
experience
asking
of
him
this
for
than
help. I
her,
agree.
And that she needs his expertise. This is literally her acknowledging what I feel like all the comments are saying she's not doing. She literally
Like what
right now
specifically
is-
though? In this scene, yes, I would agree. She is asking for help. In the later scenes, after she gets one day of help, after she controls her powers, this is where I stop, by the way. After she controls her powers, she can't control her powers. She leaves. It's like, oh, I don't need your help anymore, Bruce. In fact, Bruce doesn't actually help her do anything. Yeah, Bruce literally doesn't do anything for her. It's all Jen. So, in a way, I guess the thought is nice, but it all amounts to all Jen doing it herself.
saying, Bruce, can you help me learn how to control being a Hulk?
You can't be emotional. Just regular anger
God.
means death and destruction for everything and everyone around you. And I'm
Ew, she's speeding this up? I think she is. Brucey, you look gross. What's wrong, Bruce? Mark.
telling you, when people start seeing you as a monster, that never goes away.
After hearing this, does she laugh in his face? Does she downplay his trauma? Does she say, you don't know what you're talking about?
Not in that
No.
scene, no.
She acknowledges that he's right. He has a lot to teach her. She has a lot to learn, and she knows it. So she says,
Fine, teach me how to.
Ugh, God.
Please.
she literally asks him for help. Because she
I agree. She does ask him for help. That is true. Unfortunately, the help is all but useless.
knows he can. She also knows there's potentially
It almost
a
means
physical
nothing. That's
and
a big chunk of the
emotional damage
episode.
in the future. She literally acknowledges that everything he says is right, and that she has a lot to learn from him. And then we
Isn't she like in the end of the episode? She expresses. She does, doesn't she? In the end of that episode, she says, "I was right and Bruce was wrong." I believe that's true. Let me go look at that. All that. I put this up here just in case I wanted to look at something. End of the episode. Not that far. Oh God, Kevin Feige was a producer in this show. I totally forgot. No wonder it sucks. Listen here. It was right around here. I believe. I remember specifically because it's horrible. Right here. Let me look at it. Hopefully I don't get a
that's how it
copytism.
all happened. And no crazy Hulk stuff since. So now my family knows, and Nikki knows, and you know. Basically, I was right and Bruce was wrong.
Oh God. Okay. Oh jeez.
Get a training montage where she follows
Oh,
what he
training montage that lasted all but
says
2
and
minutes.
tries to prove
Literally.
that she can be a good Hulk in control of her abilities.
She's
Grab
better
the
than him.
boulder and take it easy on this person.
You're not telling
Horrible
me if someone said
music,
that to you,
by the
you wouldn't
way.
want to grab the largest boulder you possibly can just to prove yourself. And Bruce literally picks one up and tosses it.
It doesn't matter. She's a Hulk. She can lift any boulder and throw it into the atmosphere. She can do the same thing that Hulk is doing. By the way, no, I shouldn't even call him Hulk, by the way. It's Bruce. It's not it's Smart Hulk. Hulk is dead. She hasn't even gone into that fact at all. I'm noticing that we learned that Bruce literally killed Hulk. Anyway, what happened to this fucking meteor? Anyway, where did it go? It's not a meteor. There's boulder. He just fucking threw it in the atmosphere. Did it touch down back on the earth somewhere? Where did it crush some Japanese man's head while he was spanking some sumo wrestler's butt? Like, what the fuck? Where did it go? Did it just go all the way into space? That's potentially extremely dangerous. Very vain of Bruce, actually.
Into the atmosphere.
Yeah.
Nowhere in that scene says Jen is better than Bruce at being the Hulk. And
Oh,
I
you
feel-
skipped the other scenes where she was controlling her body better than him. And also the scenes where she threw that rock very far, almost nonchalantly. Of course, Bruce can do the same thing too. But this is weird. We don't know the power scale. We have no idea about the real power scaling of Bruce as Hulk. Potentially actual Hulk from the Avengers movie. If you've seen the Avengers movie, if you remember it, he like one-handed the Chitauri like giant worm creature. He just punched him in the face and upended his entire body, stopped all of his momentum, right? And when he did that, that was a big scene. But that was old Hulk. We have not seen all this new Hulk go all out. In fact, we haven't really seen old Hulk go out either. He got trounced by Trump. He got stomped by Thanos, and that was it. That was all we saw from him. I have no idea about this new Hulk's power scaling in the slightest. This is a new feat though. He can throw a rock into space. Okay. Someone has probably done the calculations about that power scaling. Whatever, that's fine. I don't think that's him going all out though. That's just him throwing a rock. That's not actual like combat. That's just like his throwing strength. That's not like his DC capabilities or his combat speed or anything other than that.
They're clearly
I'll stop talking about
establishing
power
that
scaling.
they have this sort of like friendly, competitive spirit between them.
No,
I'm-
it's done.
I'm
Friendly? I don't know. Friendly. Bruce seemed a bit vain in those scenes. Like, because he saw that Jen was just like getting the hang of being a Hulk so easily. And which is unfair in his eyes, understandably, because she doesn't have to go through all the things he has.
shown.
I just don't
Jesus.
personally understand the interpretation that like this montage makes her look better than him.
It kind of
It
does,
does to
though.
me.
Because it's not even a long montage. She does a few things, and apparently she's all trained as Hulk, and that's it. And then they get fucking drunk. They literally drink like 100 bottles of tequila together. Fuck.
I also don't think it's like too feminist to show her strength. Okay, yeah, she's tossing a big boulder. She's knocking down a cliffside. We know Bruce can do that. But
Yeah,
just because we don't
that's
see him
fine.
do it doesn't mean the audience can be like, oh my god, they literally wrote Jen to be better than Hulk.
That's not even
How
my...
could they?
That's not my biggest problem even with this episode. Just the training of Jen, even though it is incredibly short, mind you. Again, it's 2 minutes long. Watch my first review if you haven't seen it. I go through it. It's 2 minutes long. A 2-minute montage of her training. She didn't even really train. It's not even clear what she actually does. It just seems like she's mucking about on the island with Bruce, throwing things and doing other things. We don't get to see all of it. So, I if she wants to harper on this point about the femininity of a woman being stronger than a Hulk, Bruce Hulk, and her, whatever. I guess I'm not seeing it, but I guess I can't stop her.
When that's just not true. Yeah, she's going above and beyond here to prove herself.
Is she?
But Bruce doesn't have.
What did she go beyond and above to prove herself? She didn't. She didn't throw another boulder like Bruce did she? No, she didn't do that. If she wanted to, she could have. I bet. Yeah.
to do that. We know what Bruce can do.
When you have
No,
powers like this,
not really. I just stated it. We don't really know what he can do, honestly. We know a few things. We know what Old Hulk could do, kind of. But we didn't see him go. I already just stated this. We didn't see him go all out. We haven't seen this Bruce do anything. He got shafted through Endgame entirely. I don't know what she's on about. We have no idea. We have no idea. We now know that he can throw a rock into outer space, maybe. If that is where the rock went, we don't know.
it's like putting a target on your back and the backs of all the people you care about.
Oh,
Absolutely.
Yet another way my life is ruined. Thanks, Bruce.
Why is it his fault? Why is it his fault, Jen? He didn't cause the crash. You did. You were driving. You were driving, not him. He did not. You pulled him out of the car wreck. He's Hulk. He can heal himself. And oh God. Let's see what she's saying.
Knows exactly how much trauma Bruce has been through, and she does not want that life for herself. And we're not
What?
gonna sit
That
here and
is
pretend that
not
it's
at all what that scene was saying. Let's go back. What?
Powers like this, it's like putting a target on your back and the backs of all the people you care about.
Oh, cool. Yet another way my life is ruined. Thanks, Bruce.
I actually think she knows exactly how much trauma Bruce has been through, and
She doesn't though. She just said, "Oh, thanks. Thanks for all of this. Thanks, Bruce. Now another thing to worry about." As if she didn't know at all. What are you saying? She didn't know.
she does not want that life for herself.
I
And
can
we're not
agree
gonna
that
sit here and
she
pretend
wouldn't
that the
want
fact
that.
she's not
No one would want that though. Nobody. Bruce didn't. Bruce actually dealt with it, but Jen isn't. Jen isn't dealing with that. We know that from the episode. You know that. You watched it. Jesus Christ.
Green Hulk, and Bruce is consistently telling her life will never be the same, isn't a lot to take in. He's literally saying she's never going to be able to have the job she loves. All of her loved ones are going to be in danger, and she can't go back to her old life. That's a lot to wrestle with.
I agree. That's a lot to take in. That scene though was at a point of the show where Bruce didn't know that she could just control her anger. Not that that mattered anyway, right? Because she doesn't have an alter ego, destroying things like Bruce did. But it's not comparable. It's not a comparable model. It doesn't stop it. Why are you defending it?
Yeah, okay, maybe she doesn't have childhood abuse in her life, like people have been saying the comics say Bruce does.
I don't even talk. Well, fuck the comics. I don't give a shit about the comics. Just in the MCU, Bruce has gone through terrible things. We know that already. Didn't he say he put a gun in his mouth and the other guy spit it out? I think that was in Avengers 1. That line. Yeah, that wasn't that line exactly. Horrible things, horrible. Nothing Jen will ever go through. She has no idea. She has no idea. She doesn't. She should, but she doesn't. Apparently, which we'll find out,
Maybe she'd
later in that
watch
episode.
Tony, Natasha, Steve all leave/die, but her life just changed in the blink of an eye. And guess what? She has to deal with that trauma. One moment.
What
she's
trauma? She didn't do anything, did she? She didn't hurt anyone. Has she? What trauma has she gone through as a Hulk yet in that scene? None. She got saved by Bruce. Bruce wasn't saved by anyone. In fact, Bruce is helping her more than she even knows. You're just wrong. You're just wrong.
soaring down the road, got an office, got business cards. The next moment, bam, blink of an eye, Car crash, superpowers, no more normal life for her.
I agree, it's not a normal life. It could have been, but she decided to not do that. In fact, she wanted a normal life, but then decided not to. So that's her own fault, honestly. What do you... Oh, I still got 30 minutes of this. Oh my god.
Yeah, she's gonna have to deal with that trauma now.
There is no trauma! There is none! She doesn't have any! There is no trauma! None at all. None. Zip, zada, none. You can't tell me she had any trauma. It's just not true. It's not true. My God.
Bruce has put in the time and the effort to get where he mentally is now. His fully integrated self.
Yes.
He seems happy and at peace with where he is at this stage of his life.
I agree. He does seem happier. He should be happier because the government doesn't seem to be after him 24/7 anymore. He doesn't have to put guns in his mouth to try to kill himself. He doesn't have to worry about getting angry any little place, anywhere, and fucking praying that the Hulk doesn't just decide to Hulk out and start beating people to death because he wants to be alone. And Jesus Christ, Jen can't go through any of this because she has no alter ego. We're in a world now in the MCU where heroes are idolized. Even Hulk is idolized in the MCU now. People love him. Jesus Christ! It was an Endgame, wasn't it? Little kids were trying to take pictures with him. They weren't afraid. Jen's not gonna go through that shit.
Whereas Jen is still, excuse the pun, green to this whole thing. She wants to hold on to her old life as tight as she can.
I
And she
agree. I think that's fair. I think it's fair that she doesn't want to be a Hulk.
very clearly has not come to terms with the fact that it's going to be different now, regardless of if she wants it to be or not.
Well, that's not necessarily true, is it? Because she can control her powers. Oh my god. Fuck. She can control it. If she can control it, she can hide herself from being Hulk. She doesn't have to engage herself in any heroic activities. No one will know she's ever a Hulk. Only Bruce.
So she asks,
So when do you think I
Oh god, here it is.
leave
Let's just
here?
focus on each day as they come, Jen.
God
she wants to
damn,
get back
Mark.
to her life so badly, and that is not an answer that has a definitive end goal. No date, nothing for her to hope for, work towards. Just sort of a non-committal. Yeah, just keep working.
Well, yeah. At that point, Bruce didn't know. Well, he knows. He knows she's gonna have an alter ego. Right now, he's just working with the trigger, right? So at that point, as far as he knows, it could take a long time to make sure she can control her triggers. And yeah, that's fair. She doesn't know. I agree with that. All that stuff is fair. Fair game. She doesn't. I've said that in my first review. She doesn't want to be a Hulk.
I mean, I love Bruce, but that's not an answer.
I legitimately do have a life to get back to.
I know I've been pushing you through a lot, but being a superhero...
I don't know. You haven't really been pushing anything, Bruce. You had one montage scene with her. You laid down the law a little bit. It's not like the law matters because she can control her anger. But you don't know that yet. In the context of this scene, Jesus, there's just so much. There's so much wrong with what these. She's clipping a lot. Her points aren't very She's not explaining them very correctly. She's not. I don't think she knows what she's talking about. She has to be talking in context of the clips that she's talking about, but she's not because she's seen the whole episode, so she should know that all of this is redundant, and the fact that Jen can control her powers and all of the things that Bruce did was useless and yeah, again, redundant. It didn't matter.
Fire.
Even though the number one thing she has been saying this whole time is that she doesn't want to be a superhero.
I'm not gonna be a superhero.
She has made it so clear that she did not sign up for this life and she just wants her old life back.
I agree. It's unfair that she turned into this person. I would counterpoint, it's also unfair that Bruce turned into that person. And unfortunately for him, he got the bad end of the stick where his other person happened to be grossly angry and near evil. Not particularly evil, but just so he caused so much damage that other people around him couldn't afford him to be let free. And the fact that he can't control himself, and that's horrible. His case is much worse. let's be real here. It is. It just is.
We have to make sure of your ability to tolerate distress and regulate your emotions, especially your anger.
He poses this to her
Yes.
as a goal. Regulate your emotions.
Yes.
Especially the main trigger.
It's
anger.
it's
Her
important. It's incredibly important. She is a Hulk now. She could literally break a person by pushing them with her little pinky. That's how powerful she is now. The sheer strength she could like her strength potential is so massively oversized compared to any actual regular person that she has to be walking on eggshells for the rest of her life, just like Bruce. Well, of course she doesn't actually, but Bruce did.
Responding to him here in this scene is not her making everything about herself. It's a response to him directly about the abilities they're talking about in the conversation.
Here's the thing, Bruce. I'm
We're talking about cackling now. Great.
I do it all the time.
Yep.
If I don't, I
Yep.
will get called emotional.
Absolutely.
Or difficult.
Yep.
Might just literally get murdered.
I
And
agree.
I want to say,
Murder women. Murder them. Cat call them and then murder them. Listen, that scene is horrible. Oh my god, let's see what she says. Damn it.
actually looks like he understands. Which is
Yeah, why would he understand? Why? What could he possibly gain from her fucking insufferable spiel? She basically said nothing. She said I could literally, get catcalled and then get murdered. Oh, what happened to you, Bruce? Oh wait, you tried to commit suicide? Oh wait, you caused unfathomable amount of damage to numerous amounts of people, and you couldn't control it. You probably killed a ton of people out of your control. You've been hunted down from the government for over a decade. Wow. Oh, but I've been catcalled, Bruce. Oh, jeez. Oh, ooh-wee. Christ.
funny considering.
Let's go back.
Might just literally get murdered.
And I want to say, Bruce actually looks like he understands, which is
God.
funny considering a lot
He
of
shouldn't.
the reactions are angry on behalf of him. But meanwhile, he actually has created an open and safe environment for her to discuss these issues.
Oh, fuck. Oh my god. Why wouldn't we be upset for Bruce? I literally just went over it. And he didn't create this place for her. He created this place for himself, by the way. Jen was an accident. He didn't mean for her to become a Hulk. Now he's in this position where he wants to help her because he's the only one who can. He's the only one who would understand what's happening to her. Not that he can anyway, because her situation is drastically different from his. Her situation is, oh my god, 100 times better than the place that he was when it first happened to him. But again, it's a safe place. I guess he made it, but it was a safe place for him. This is his and Tony's spot. They went there during the blip. That's what he explained in the episode. Oh, Jesus.
Anyways, here's the scene that people seem to be running with to, prove that she thinks she has a harder life than Bruce.
I'm an expert at
Yes.
controlling my anger because I do it infinitely more than you.
Look at that. Look at that insufferability. Look at that arrogance. Bruce, I control my anger infinitely more than you because I get catcalled on the streets at night. Also, I could maybe get murdered because I'm a woman, possibly, even though anyone could get murdered anytime on the streets, anywhere. Doesn't matter who you are. Look how much of a cunt she is.
All of this
She's a
just
cunt.
feels like projecting a lot of shit onto me.
Which she's not wrong. A lot of it is projected.
No! She's projecting! What do you mean she's not wrong? What do you mean? What do you mean? She's the one projecting. What are you talking about? Did you not look at your own clip? Do you not understand? Do you not understand the lore about Bruce and what's his lore is? Oh my God, they didn't change it. It's the same as it ever was in the MCU. They didn't change it. What are you confused about, lady? God, let's go back.
Life than Bruce.
I'm an expert at controlling.
Let's go back again. I'm sorry.
Angry on behalf of him, but meanwhile he actually has created an open and safe environment for her to discuss these issues. Anyways, here's the scene that people seem to be running with to like prove that she thinks she has a harder life than Bruce.
I'm an expert at controlling my anger because I do it infinitely more than you. So all of this just feels like projecting a lot of shit onto me.
Which she's not wrong. A lot of it is projecting. He clearly
How? Please
is
explain.
not just teaching her how to minimize damages, but also to become a superhero like she's stated she doesn't want. So she hulks out, de-hulks just to prove that she has it all under control, which is what their lessons were for originally.
Just stay here.
Yes, I agree. In that scene, Bruce wants her to be a superhero. At least after, because why not? She's a Hulk. But again, that doesn't explain why you think that that whole dialogue scene wasn't a representation of Jen's character, explaining why her being a woman, her experience as being a woman is worse than Bruce's experience being the Hulk. They're not comparable in any sense. It's just not reality.
Until you figure out how to control your Hulk self. Priorities to control when you turn.
So Bruce succeeded in
I agree.
helping her.
Well, he didn't really help her. She did it herself. She does it herself. He says this is new territory. He didn't expect her to do that, control it right away. He didn't expect her to not have an alter ego. This is his entire plan was foiled by Jen's brilliance of just being better. Literally. She didn't need help in the first place. He's nice enough to help her, but she doesn't need it.
Cuz, love you, Bruce.
That's the
I'm
bad
going home.
part.
AKA, the solution that worked for him and his life is not necessarily applicable to her, which makes sense as they're different people. Nowhere
Not
in
just
this
different people. The writers made it so that Jen just doesn't have the same problems as Bruce does, right? Yes, they are different people. She'll never go through that trauma that Bruce will, ever. Never. Won't
statement
happen.
Does she say, I've had a more traumatic life than you? He said, you
Yeah,
need to
she did. She's trying to compare her catcalling and her ability to control her anger because of it to Bruce, who had to literally flee the country because it was being hunted by the government. How you don't know what it's like. He literally ran away from his home, from her, from his family, from the people he loved.
learn to regulate
Christ
your emotions.
almighty.
But she demonstrates that she already has that skill set. She already does that in her daily life.
Isn't that so convenient? Isn't it convenient? She can just do it. That's so convenient. Good for her. I wish Bruce could have done that. Would have made him such a better character, right? If he didn't have all these problems. All this conflict within himself. No. We like the other model better.
I don't see anyone
Jesus.
commenting on the fact that this is just her equivalent of, that's my secret cap, I'm always angry. They're simply
What are you talking about? Her secret cap? I'm always angry? Oh my God. I don't know how many times I can say it. They're just not comparable. You can't compare them.
saying that she skipped the, like, need to learn how to regulate my
You're
emotions.
just downplaying Bruce's actual trauma. But we've seen that. We haven't seen hers. Oh my God.
Step that Bruce had to go through before he got to that point in the Avengers. Which I think is fair and has nothing to do with trauma. Anger at your circumstances has nothing to do with the trauma that you've experienced in your life. And I feel like we as viewers know Bruce's journey. We've seen what he's been through. He's definitely had his moments of being angry all the time.
Why are you defending her? If you remember that, do you remember the scene from Age of Ultron where he literally got mind controlled into um creating damage in Wakanda, the fake Wakanda? Do you remember that? How horrible it was after he turned it back into Bruce and was so fucking appalled at what happened and afraid and scared and sad that he almost killed and hurt a bunch of people? It was horrible. Oh my god, you don't know what you're talking about.
Doesn't invalidate the fact that her life experiences have also contributed
They're not comparable! Stop it! Oh, Jesus.
to her knowing how to control her anger. I do sometimes wish she didn't say the I do it infinitely more than you, just because
Oh, well, thank
I
God.
feel like that's what people are latching onto, and if she hadn't said that sentence,
I'm upset at that whole line, lady. That whole line is just cursed. There was no way any insertion of that dialogue piece could have gone out in it could have been uh, handled. It was handled poorly and it would all have always have been handled poorly. There was no way for it to be good at all. It wouldn't have made sense in any capacity or in any context. It was horrible from the get go. It's cursed. Okay. I hit that whole line, not just the infinitely more piece or whatever you're talking about, okay? I hit that whole line. It's the insufferability and the arrogance, the way she's talking to Bruce. She doesn't know about his suffering, even though she should, because she's his cousin, but it's she's just being a cunt that entire time.
I'd be really
God.
curious to know if people were actually listening to her, or if they'd find something else to complain about.
I'm curious to know if you were listening to her. It doesn't seem like you were. Fuck. It doesn't seem like you were listening at all. Well, it doesn't seem like you were paying attention at the very least. Like, Jesus. Again, it's not comparable. She can't compare her tragedies as a woman, a suburban class woman, a lawyer woman, to Bruce fucking Banner. Stop it. It's not right.
Because women deserve to have a space to talk about their experiences, and once more,
Oh my god, please.
it feels like all of the reactions saying she's so foolish to even think that that's a big issue.
Yes.
It feels like it's trivializing
Yes, she is foolish to think it's the same. Yes, she's a cunt.
stuff that a lot of women go through. But
Who gives what they go through? Fuck, what? Catcalling? I'm sorry? Oh boy.
even though I kind of wish they hadn't added the I do it more than you, I understand why they did, because it has to lead into her saying, I think you're projecting.
Why are you defending that? Why? If you know about Bruce's suffering, why would you defend her talking about her catcalling experiences compared to Bruce's suffering? Why? But why?
A lot of your own problems onto me, even though I'm a different person. Because she is a different person. And by saying that, she's putting her foot down once more and just reestablishing the fact that she doesn't want the life that he has. I've seen a lot of comments saying it's...
I agree she doesn't want the life that he has. Unfortunately, in this episode, she ends up having that life because she decided to Hulk out in a courtroom of her peers. Well, when the random superstar influencer Titanium fucking appeared. Do you understand how fucking messy this episode is? I don't think you do. But you should know that. That doesn't matter. Fuck, because it already happened in the later part of the episode. Fuck, Jesus Christ. Now it doesn't matter what she wants now because she revealed herself as a Hulk. She didn't have to do that. She didn't have to help people, which is what she didn't want to do in the first place. She wasn't benevolent at all, but I guess she just is benevolent now in that scene in the last episode.
Cringy and unnecessary
episode
for
one.
her to talk about it, but she's literally using her experiences as evidence to say, that's my secret, Bruce. I'm always angry.
She didn't say that at all. She never said this is. She said she can control her emotions infinitely better than you, and you're just projecting at me, Bruce. That's what she said. She didn't say I'm always angry. She said she can control her anger infinitely more than you. That's what she said. That's what she said. Want to go back? We've seen it. We don't need to.
So much room here too for Bruce to then go back, look internally, figure things out. Just because one character says that she thinks this is what's happening in episode 1 doesn't necessarily mean that's what's going to be the end-all definitive reason why she can control her Hulk form later on. It's like it's a 30-minute episode in a 9-episode series. It's obviously not going to include everything in episode 1.
I did your dialectical
What?
behavior
Okay. I mean, we didn't get to see that, though. We didn't get to see any examples of her going through any sort of trauma at all. There's that one scene right before Bruce brought her to the island, but that, I guess that's the catcalling scene. But those people, they weren't gonna fucking murder her. They were just catcalling her. So what? Oh my god.
I can change
Please.
back and forth, and I'm happy to now get back to my life.
That's right.
She literally acknowledges that Bruce helped. She says, I
Right.
did what you wanted me to do. I did your DBT. She
Yeah, I mean, I guess Bruce helped, kind of. I mean, didn't really, because she did it all herself. Bruce just set her on the path for a day, and then it was all resolved within, like 10 minutes, basically. Yeah. Well, not even then. Just from the start of, like, the blades, and then the montage, and then this, and then she's fine.
listened to him. She worked together closely with him, and now because of his help, she's realized that she actually
one
has
day.
the resources within her to control her Hulk form.
How
She
easy.
just did it a little bit
How convenient for her, isn't it?
quicker than 15 years.
Yeah, isn't that great? Oh, look at this character that can do all these things so easily, way better than Bruce can. Oh, but she's not better than him.
But Bruce wants her to stay. And I get it, because the poor man's alone on a beach.
I'm not
He doesn't have to be alone on the beach. He's the fucking Hulk. He came here to help her. He went there to help her. He brought her there.
And I'm not gonna become you. I don't need to join some secret government contractor squad and have my entire life taken away from me.
Clearly, this is what she's
I
been afraid of
agree.
this whole time. She wants to live her life on her own terms.
I agree.
That's not a crime.
My
Nope,
life
it's
wasn't
not. I
taken
agree.
away.
It's not a crime. That is completely fair. She doesn't want to be Hulk. It's too bad at the end of this episode, she does end up being a Hulk because she revealed herself in front of a bunch of people. It's almost like she doesn't know what she wants. Like an action. I was going to say like an actual girl. Now I am sexist. Ban me.
Really?
And Bruce, I love you, buddy. We could see you've worked through it in therapy. We could see that
Oh
you're
boy.
content and at peace with yourself now. But come on, you know it. We know it. She knows it. You've been through a lot of trauma. And
Why
even
is
though
she downplaying it then? She literally downplayed it. Literally, that's what happened. You just went over the scene where it happened. What are you talking about? Why are you contradicting yourself?
you've accepted your situation now, you can't deny that there's been a lot of struggle to get to this point.
So you didn't.
You acknowledge it. Why did you defend her? Oh my god. It's mind-boggling. Why you're acknowledging it? You're acknowledging that Bruce has gone through way more suffering than her. Why are you defending her existence of catcalling and being a woman being worse than Bruce trying to commit suicide on a daily basis? What the fuck? What?
Wind up alone, hiding away on some remote beach with no friends, no relationship.
And that scene is horribly wrong. Bruce isn't hiding alone. He came here to get rid of the Hulk with Tony, it seems. And he did that. Did he stay here forever? No. He might come here to be at peace with himself. And still, what if he comes here to be alone, honestly? With all the shit that's happened to him. And you're being insufferable again, Jen, you cunt.
Never seeing your family and definitely not dealing with a decade's
It wasn't his fault that he couldn't see his family, was it? No, it wasn't. It wasn't his fault that he couldn't hang out with you. You should know that.
worth of trauma. Why would you want that for me, Bruce?
And it's not gonna be for you. You don't have an alter ego that goes on psychotic rampages across the world. They're not comparable. Oh my god. That's just should be the title of this fucking video. They're not comparable. Don't even
Plus
try.
that he's had a hard life. She doesn't want her life to be that hard. I think this part in particular.
It won't be. It literally won't be. It's reality. She knows it won't be. Bruce would know it won't be. Bruce just wants to help her because he knows that eventually she'll probably end up being the Hulk in some situations somehow, right? And he just wants to help her control it. And he's being a nice cousin because she is turning into a Hulk. And that's scary. And the things that Hulks can do are scary. And she's demeaning his lived experience, don't you know?
Is so clear that she's acknowledging that he's been through a lot more than her. To me, this reads that she knows what he's been through. She knows that it is devastating, hard stuff.
No, if she knew it, why did she say all that awful things about him then? Why is she comparing her being a woman to his suffering as a person, as if no one, all people have suffering, not just girls. You don't have to be a girl just to have suffering, right? God damn, it's so fucked up. It's so stupid. Jesus, I don't even care that she's a girl. Jesus Christ, it's the fact that she's. It's hard to even explain. I've already said it though. Fuck. They're not comparable.
Specifically doesn't want that life for herself. She seems quite content and eager to go back to the life of catcalling and mansplaining.
Well, she shouldn't have showed herself as a Hulk then. She shouldn't have told her friend she was a Hulk.
She is literally
Stupid decision.
With all of you saying her life is not as hard as Bruce's.
She didn't say that at all.
That's
No, she didn't say that at all. Not at all. Literally not. She knows. She knows. She said her life was just as hard, if not harder, and she has to control her emotions more than Bruce, infinitely more, and that Bruce is protecting to him. We just went over the scene. That's what happened.
Why she keeps saying she doesn't want to be a superhero. She has a life that she is used to. She is content
I
with,
agree.
and that is
she has a good life.
Relatively non-traumatic for her compared to everything that Bruce has been through as an Avenger, and even before he was an Avenger, as a Hulk.
Why wouldn't you listen to someone who's
God,
been
a
through
horrible
all this
fight scene.
before?
This is literally every comment section.
Because we're different people!
And this is literally the answer. This sums it up. They're different people. With
Yes.
different life experiences, different life backstories.
Yes.
And different ways of tackling their role in the world.
I don't think anyone cares that she should be a superhero. Not. It's weird, right? Because this is a superhero show. And the writers are gonna put her in situations where she's gonna be doing superhero things, even though she's supposed to be a lawyer. But she doesn't want to be a superhero. Then why would she reveal herself as a Hulk? She shouldn't have done that. That was a bad decision. I don't begrudge her for not wanting to be one. If anyone does, I think they're wrong. That point of her character, this is an actual character trait for her. Her not wanting to be a superhero, that's a completely fine decision making, on her part. Whatever, right? Why make this show? It's not a comedy, that's for sure.
And I still maintain that she did listen to him. The fact that
No,
she
she
now knows
didn't.
what her triggers are, how to control them, and is able to turn into She-Hulk at whim.
She did it all on her own.
Is proof that she and Bruce succeeded.
So you're
All
not
on her own.
literally the only other person in the world that understands what you're going through.
Not even really. Still, you just said there were different people. She could never understand what he's going through, ever. Apparently, he can understand what she's going through, sort of, but not really, because she doesn't have an alter ego. It's all fucked up, right? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Horrible lines of dialogue.
Appreciative of his help.
They aren't taking into account
With
of
a
what's
heart.
happened between the
They're
lore of the
fine.
series, of
Their
the entire
relationship
MCU.
is fine.
And I'm sorry that I said a bunch of harsh but very true things.
Oh, it's harsh,
Hey,
but
I'm
very
sorry
true.
about
They
your
weren't true at
feelings,
all.
but your life has been traumatic as heck, and I would like
Tom's,
to go back to my.
Tom's critiquing the actual show now, not even her. Unfortunate. I've lost interest in her and what she said.
Less traumatic one as a lawyer. Thanks. And you're forgetting the rest of her line.
Oh my
The
god, I
full
don't care about
context.
these people, these comments. When Jen comes back from the flashback, her line is, so basically I was right. Yeah, she did say that. Exactly. So my character, this isn't a hero's origin story. This is a villain's origin story. She's obtuse, cocksure, and entirely unlikable. The man hatred in the writer's room is palpable. I would agree with some of that. The man hatred, uh, it's almost like they're disregarding Bruce's experiences. Literally, that's what happened. They're disregarding his life experiences. That's the whole feminist MO, right? Don't demean my life experience. My experience is just as true as anyone else's in any objective reality, right? Even though that's ridiculous. Um, that's what happened, and she is unlikable, very unlikable.
Basically, I was right and Bruce was wrong.
Horrible scene.
And I never have to be a Hulk.
Except that
AKA,
you are.
Again, she just doesn't want to be a superhero. She thinks she can live her life without acknowledging
She
the fact
could
that
have.
She now has Hulk abilities that are clearly going to change her life.
She
Bruce
could have. She could have, but then she changes. She decides not to.
told her it would impact
Fuck.
her life. She was saying, "You're wrong. It won't. I've got this under control." This is also situational irony, as in the next scene, we clearly see her having to turn into She-Hulk.
Situational
and
irony.
Save the day.
What the fuck? She was told to save the day by her paralegal. She didn't want to do it herself.
Right now, in front of everybody? Come on, civic duty.
Everything that she was saying.
Again, that commenter was right. She's not a hero. She's like a villain. She has to be coerced into helping people. Her paralegal told her to help them. Literally, she didn't want to do it. She should have just not have done it. Then the show would have been over, right? We can't make a show without her being a hero, even though she doesn't want to be a hero. Is that the conflict? God, what? It's jumbling. It's a mess. It's a fucking mess, isn't it? Sending so many mixed messages.
I don't want this to happen. I've got this under control. Yeah, it's happening. We know. We, the audience, know that it's gonna happen. There's 9 episodes. There's no way she could just,
Yes, in a meta sense, we know. Exactly. We know. Too bad for Jen. She could have not have done that. That could have been her character. She could have just been stuck to her principles of saying, no, I don't want to be a hero. I don't want to help anyone. She could have done that. Why would she put herself at risk?
hide the fact that she's the Hulk. But it's a comedy. They're putting in situational.
Yeah, it's a comedy, all right.
Grow as a character.
It's a comedy on my brain cells, fucking shooting themselves in the head watching it. Jesus Christ.
And have to accept that part of herself. It's also kind of funny because cocksure and unlikable is a 2 words that I would maybe describe at the beginning of a certain fan favorite character that I'm not going to name.
Excuse me, lady? What? What did you say? Let's roll that back. I'm pretty sure she just made a slight at, someone very important. Let's, go back there.
Cocksure and unlikable is a 2 words that I would maybe describe at the beginning of a certain fan favorite character that I'm not going to name.
Ooh, we are already in dangerous territories. We're off the charts. I think she's talking about Tony. Are you possibly talking about Tony? Cocksure and unlikable? Are you fucking kidding me? Cocksure? Maybe. Arrogant? Yes. Unlikable? You're fucking insane. Tony is one of the most beloved and likable characters in the entire MCU, and even in the beginning. Arrogant? Maybe a little ignorant? Yes. Absolutely. Unlikable? No. You're insane. You're an insane person. You're wrong. You're just wrong.
And to see people straight up call
Why don't you just say it? Why do you gotta leave it to my imagination too? You might not even be talking about Tony. That's the only character I can think of that people think is like unlikable or a cocksure in the beginning of the MCU. It would definitely be Tony, right? Or maybe it could be Thor. Could be Thor as well. Thor was very cocky in the beginning. He might have been a little unlikable too. At least his movie was unlikable, but not the character. People love Thor. Why don't you just say who you're talking about? Just say it. Why not? You've said all this other shit. Just say it. Jesus.
Feminist propaganda is so funny to me.
I don't know if it's feminist propaganda. It feels like the writers are using this show as a way to insert themselves into the story in some way propaganda, I wouldn't say that. It was a bit cringy and feminist at the beginning of the first episode, and then it went completely off the rails. I think in the later half. Um, Propaganda? I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that.
I mean, it's a
I don't know if
show made
this
by
comment
women.
anyway. It's just some random comment on the internet though. What do you take? What do you take all comments on the internet seriously? I know I'm not a big channel. I haven't gotten a lot of comments, but especially ones that probably you've gotten because you just have your channel is not even comparable to mine in the slightest. No, yeah, and that's to be sure, absolutely. But again, they're just they maybe they don't know what they're talking about. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. I wouldn't take every single comment as like a um as like an expression of every other person, right?
Featuring some things that some women might find relatable. Also, can we break this down? First, they're actually boys' character growth.
You might find it relatable. It doesn't make it true. I mean, I can find lots of things relatable. It doesn't make it true at all. Jesus.
Considering the fact that she went from not being able to control her Hulk form or when she turned to being able to control when she turns at whim.
It happened in like 2 minutes. It was so easy. They brushed past it. It was almost like it was a non-issue from the start.
Thanks to Bruce's help and guidance.
N- Basically, no help from him at all. Again, I already said that before. You're just reiterating
And
at
a
this
training
point.
montage. And even if there wasn't growth, it's episode 1 of a 9-episode series. I'm sure it would happen at some point.
That first episode went by very fast. That was a very fast first episode. We went through um, her introduction to Bruce, her becoming a Hulk, um, her training, her leaving the island, and then her going back to being a lawyer. That was a very fast-paced episode. There was a lot happening, and then episode 2 was there was not a lot going on, so they slowed it down a lot for episode 2, and her character development in that episode was non-existent. So I don't know. Where she was just basically complaining the whole time in that episode, even though she was getting her way, basically.
I also disagree with the fact that every dude in the show was written as a jerk or a simpleton. Bruce's entire existence disproves that. He was not written like that at all.
What? He acted apathetically to her position. Not apathetic. He was sympathetic to her position. But then he in that scene when she spouted that horrible dialogue. Again, you even mentioned that he was agreeing with her. That's horrible, and that is kind of simpletony. Not something a smart man would do in his position, maybe.
Emotionally intelligent, emotionally in tune guy who has done a lot of internal work and healing to find peace within himself. I personally think this episode wrote him as brilliant, both in terms of physical.
Oh my God! What? Brilliant? In what way? We find out a lot of things that get brushed past. We find about him building an armband, brushed past it. We find out about him building this island with Toady, basically brushed past it. Find out about him killing Hulk, brushed past it. Sicarian ship, brushed past it. Training with Jen, brushed past it. Everything was brushed past by.
Intelligence and emotional intelligence. And I'm genuinely getting more
What? I gotta go back. I'm sorry.
at all. Actually, I think he was written as a really emotionally intelligent, emotionally in tune guy who has done a lot of internal work and healing to find peace within himself. I personally think this episode wrote him as brilliant, both in terms of physical intelligence and emotional intelligence.
What the fuck are you talking about? My physical intelligence? Oh, my muscles, they're so smart. Oh, my muscles, they be reading books all day. Oh, I'll be working out my muscles with reading material. I've been injecting intelligence boosters into my thighs. Ooh. What are you, physical intelligence? What? That's not a thing. Oh my god. What?
And I'm genuinely getting more and more convinced that some of the people
My
complaining
my big toes.
didn't even watch
They're
the
so
episode.
big and
So she's
mean.
conscious
Ooh,
and in
I've been
control
working
of
them
her
out
form,
by
but she's
flipping
ready to murder
pages.
3 guys for talking
Moby
to her.
Dick.
Let's break that scene down. She sees them coming out of the door. She steps down from the platform
Ah,
and
yes,
turns her
this is the
back to
catcalling
avoid
scene.
them. That is not a woman looking for a fight or for violence. She gives the most non-committal answer ever
What's up? How you doing?
Fine, thank you.
and looks away again. Very disengaged.
I agree.
Congratulations to this actor, because honestly, the stare he gives, that is scary.
That's a pretty nasty scare. That was pretty funny. Yeah, that's not. Yeah, that's pretty. It's a pretty funny stare. This guy's friendly though. He's the one that's really talking to her.
That is scary. That is bone chilling. I think that's
It's bone chilling. Where have I heard that before, dude? It's epic, epically bone chilling experience. Who have I heard that from? bone chilling. Oh dear.
She gives the "I think my boyfriend's here," which is, in case
I
you
get
didn't
it.
know,
Yes,
just
she's a
about
woman.
the
She
number
doesn't
one
want to talk
signal
to
for,
3 guys
"Please do not
trying to
talk to me."
catcall her or whatever.
I don't want to be in this conversation right now, and I think you'll respect another man more than you'll respect me clearly saying no and walking away. At this point, they follow her into the parking lot. Her breathing
Well,
rate
yeah, they're
picks
trying to
up.
get her
She
attention. How else are they supposed to get her attention? How else is anyone supposed to talk to like a pretty girl anymore, right? So just on the street, a guy can't like say hi to you very nicely, and then you'll be like no, and then like, oh, wait a minute, we can just talk. Maybe that is scary, I guess. As a woman, yeah. Again, not comparable to Bruce's experience, sure. An experience nonetheless. It could be scary, I agree. Fine. But these guys weren't. What's the power plus privilege, right? She has all the power in this situation because she's a Hulk.
is nervous. To me, this does not even read as a woman who's angry. This reads as a woman who is scared. And
Oh,
then
you think she
loses
turned
it.
out of
She
fear?
hulks out.
It looks like she turns out of anger because she gets, she screams angrily at them.
And then immediately
And then
gets
after that, she literally goes to attack them, right? She was going to hurt them. She had all the power in that situation. It didn't matter what would happen here. It was all circumstance. And then, luckily for these guys, Bruce saved them. She could have killed people out of anger and uncontrollability. Bruce saved her from that horror and trauma. She could have killed these guys. Jesus.
to the ground by Bruce.
Don't
so you
defend
can
her.
Rest assured, the men got home safely.
Yeah, lucky for them. She could have killed them. Acknowledge it.
Scared, but safe. Maybe in the future they'll reconsider following women down into dark parking lots.
Dark parking lots? She's the one who ran away. She didn't have to. She could have stayed there by the bar where a bunch of other people were, right? There were people in that bar. She could have stayed there and screamed for help instead. What are you talking about? If she thought she was that in danger, she would have done that. All those guys would have fucking ran away. Trust me, they would have. They were in a cancer cultured world. If those kind of guys wouldn't have talked to her anyway because of that. Just for that, it wouldn't have happened. Everybody would be too scared.
But everything in her body language and her speech was a woman trying to avoid a situation with them.
Sure.
And Bruce specifically says that fear is a trigger. To me, this scene doesn't even read necessarily like anger was the trigger, like she got mad at them. To me,
You do think it
this
was fear.
100% reads.
You think that was a fear-induced trigger. Fine. That's acceptable. Whatever. Gloss over the part where she almost kills them. That's fine.
As if she was truly afraid.
Maybe those guys could have had bad intentions. Maybe they didn't. To me, it didn't look like they did. To me, it just looked like they wanted to talk to her. 3 dudes. Mostly the black guy with the dreads. He just wanted to... He was being real friendly. Why, you don't go to a bar looking like that, right? And then... Granted, she didn't look like that when she got there. She got dressed up by these fucking Valley fucking Jersey girls for no reason. A really weird scene. Very strange. And she just gets all clean, and apparently no one notices her going into that. She went in all fucked up, all bloody and like dirty. That's beside the point. Whatever.
And her Hulk form was like, hey, I'm here to protect you.
Uh,
That's what it reads
hey!
like to me. Not that it matters which trigger it was, because the point still stands. She was trying to disengage and not have an interaction with them. She was not, as you seem to think, thinking, oh yeah, I have these new powers.
At that point, no, I would agree. Fine. I would agree.
Murder
Not at that
men.
point.
No,
That's fine.
That's literally not what happened. I do not think you watched the episode. If people are villainizing
I've watched it plenty, lady. Thank you.
her for this scene, that is a mad stretch, especially considering the fact that she didn't yet know the triggers for the Hulk form, because
Yes,
she doesn't
that's.
find that out
I
till
don't.
another
Yes, she didn't
scene
know. That's
later on
fine.
in the
She
episode.
can be as scared as she wants there. Obviously, she had all the power in that scene anyway, though. In a meta sense, we all know that. And as far as I could tell, those guys weren't gonna fucking jump her and rape her. So fuck. That wouldn't have happened anyway, because this is a PG rating show. In another meta sense, we know that won't happen. Obviously, I get your point though. Is trying to come across as, oh look, being catcalled in a dark alley. Oh, it is scary. You know, to a girl, it could be scary. Most suburban girls don't go through this. And if you're at a bar like that, and people call, but three guys call to you, why are you walking away from a group of people that could potentially help you? That's not smart. So you should acknowledge that. I believe instead, but I assume you won't.
And she hadn't gone through the training montage yet to the point where she could then learn that she could control the Hulk. And like this.
Oh,
do you
jeez. Like, yes, men do that, but they're representing that every man is dumb, and every man does that which isn't true. I swear, the only nice man is going to be Hulk in the show, and no one else. They're targeting this show for 30, 40-year-old women. That's true. Sitting on a couch eating ice cream and being single and looking through Facebook. Like the hell. Marvel's supposed to be everyone. Boy, girl, they, them, women, man, not just for one gender, which is women. This show is really bad. I agree. Most of that, anyway. This show really is for 30 to 40-year-old women. It's not a comedy. It's not funny at all. This is a show for wine moms. It is. It's a show for wine moms. That not like, obviously I've been watching it, and it's just not funny at all. And they did destroy like Bruce's character in in the episode 1. God, it's just horrible to go through when you've been watching like the MCU for so long, watching your favorite characters get broken down in such a way. All of them too. The entire Phase 4, in fact. We're breaking down Iron Man, he's gone. Captain America, he's gone. Thor's pretty much fucked. Hulk is gone now. All our big players are fucking gone. Natasha's gone. Hawkeye's gone now. Fuck, what do we have left, boys? Shang-Chi and Wong. That's what we have
her
left
to
now.
break the fourth wall every time
The
she's
Eternals, I
complaining,
guess.
and then just be like, hey.
Fuck, I just remembered the Eternals. Holy shit. Oh my god. I don't even remember anything from that movie.
All men, though.
Unbelievable.
And then Wink. Actually, now that I've said that, that is really funny. Quick pause. When I filmed this, episode 2 hadn't aired yet, but now it has, and I'm still seeing comments saying the show depicts all men poorly, so let's break this character roster down real fast. On the left, we have really don't seem that great of guys. Gonna put the dudes from the bar here, and her ex-coworker whose last name is apparently Bukowski. That's hilarious.
What? Why is that hilarious? Is it because he's Jewish? A Jewish name? What? I'm sorry? Are you demeaning his life experience, lady? That's very racist of you. Just because he has a Jewish name? How dare you say that?
On the right side, we're gonna put literally every other normal dude, including Bruce, her dad.
Normal dude? Bruce isn't fucking normal. You look at this picture. Does that look normal to you? Cucumber man. Normal.
Her cousin Chet, Pug.
These normal dudes are seen as weak compared to her, by the way. These guys as well. Even Bruce is seen weak compared to her.
Two prison
This
guards,
guy too.
the two guys who named her She-Hulk on the news, And probably her two bosses, even though one fired her, still seem decent. Hell, even Blonsky seems fine so far.
What? What? You think Blonsky is a normal dude? Abomination? What are you talking about? he's not. What could you... I don't understand. He's literally abomination. He's not a normal dude. Look at this motherfucker. Tim Roth. Are you kidding me?
More guys than not have been written like decent people. And judging just by the
Sure, whatever. I'm
I'm
not gonna...
alone.
I don't want to overanalyze every single male character on the show. As far as I can tell, most of them have been just like stereotypical mean guys that are always wrong compared to Jen, and in whatever situation they're in. That's been the show so far. We haven't gotten much from Tim Roth yet, honestly. We know that he's trying to push himself as this good guy. That's obviously a red herring because he's abomination, and there's no way that's gonna happen ever. So I don't know if she's a normal dude. I don't know what she's talking about.
I know there are guys who enjoyed this episode. They don't feel called out.
Yeah, who are those dudes? Good luck to you guys for enjoying that episode. Incredible.
By the fact that she mentions that catcallers, stalkers, mansplainers exist. Quite possibly because they know that they're not one. To say like Marvel is supposed to.
Oh my God, how would you know? Maybe they are. They could be lying. They could be lying. You don't know that. They could be trying to score brownie points with other girls. That's what male feminists do. Literally. Most male feminists are horrible. We've seen it's been happening for years now. We've seen articles about male feminists doing terrible shit all the time because they're not real male feminists. They're just trying to get brownie points with women so they can have, they're the real incels, which you would probably disagree with. They're the allies or whatever. Are you a feminist? Who cares anyway? I'm more concerned about like the actual character development of Jen and her relationships between the people in the Marvel universe and how this world building is gonna complete itself at the end of the show. And so far, it's not good. And the feminist stuff is just cringy. It's fucking cringy, and it makes her as a character insufferable and a cunt. That's it.
That men would watch this episode because she mentions that there are some annoying guys that exist.
They're annoying. Hey, listen, honey, there are annoying girls that exist too. All right, trust me. Jesus, no, you're not all peaches. All right. So let's not even discuss this. It's not relevant.
In my opinion,
maybe I think there are people thinking it is like the whole show is feminist cringe. Maybe I'm just like sick of it, because I've been hearing about the feminism for so fucking long, and I'm just tired of it. I'm more focused on the actual plot of the show and like our characters and how they're. I've just said this before, again, how they're coalescing between each other and how it's being executed in the story. Are they likable? Are they good characters? What are their drives, their motives, their ambitions? I'm more focused on that.
Are you aware that we just spent the last 10...
I don't know what she's cherry picking though. She's probably just cherry picking comments that she garnered on her videos and other videos. But in this video itself, even though this has like 2,000 dislikes, all I'm seeing is just fucking, oh my God, just praise, absolute praise for her, which seems super suspicious. For 1,000 comments, I don't know how far I went down. I looked at a lot of them. There were so many, just praising her, praising the views of the show.
A trio of superpowered white men lead the MCU, and the rest of us just had to see ourselves represented through them anyways. I think we've covered the first point of this comment, but it's actually the third
what's this comment? Is this from you? Several assertions that bother me. She's indignant about men who conceded to her about her area of expertise, yet she contends that she knows how to deal with this radical transformation better than the only expert on the planet, her cousin Bruce. That's true. All the warnings about vulnerable friends, lethal strength, moral obligation, inviting challenge from opponents are absolutely legitimate. Yes, she's ridiculously dismissive. Yes, absolutely. That's correct, though. She was. You went over the scene. She was being horribly dismissive to him, and she she was demeaning him. Jesus Christ.
Paragraph I want to talk about, because in the most respectful way possible, I think you're missing her point. She
What was her point?
didn't say women have a monopoly on rage and fear. She said those
She literally did. She said, what did she say? That is the baseline of any woman's existence. What's a baseline then? Maybe not a monopoly, but she's definitely speaking in generalities for sure for all women. So
are the baseline of any woman's existence.
There you
Maybe
go.
What she said didn't resonate with you, but it resonated with me.
Oh, of course
and
it
I'm
did.
sure it resonated with a bunch of other people as well. So, like, if you don't want to hear any personal anecdotes, skip ahead. But I personally have a
Personal anecdotes about what? Your experiences as a woman? You can't compare yourself to Bruce. No one care. I don't care about your personal experience. Fuck. It's not relevant, is it? Now, I can't confirm whether it's true or not, can I? Oh, so why would you say it? It could be true. It's relevant.
lot of stories to back up what Jen was talking about, and I'm positive there are other people who can share.
You could have stories that back what she set up. Unfortunately for you, those stories can never compare to the being hunted down by your own government and suicide and just being overall hated by the entire world now, can you? Seen as a
stories in the
monster for the
comments,
rest of
too,
your life.
because it's
For a
not
decade.
some like crazy thing that she pulled out of nowhere.
She did pull out of nowhere. That's literally, we didn't see any of that. She pulled it out of nowhere. I'm sorry if I just blew up my mic. I feel like I just did. Sorry.
sharing her experiences, and she's written by women who are also sharing their experiences, and they're all valid.
Yeah, they're self-inserting their own experiences into the show. Like, stop it. Don't insert yourself into your new character. Because you can a little bit, I guess. Jen's like the OC of all the feminist writers in this show, and Kevin Feige. I'm sure he had some shit to do with that too.
Valid experiences to talk about, even if you don't want to hear them. Just on this channel, I've been called a stupid bitch. I've gotten death threats for saying I didn't like how the earlier
I'm sorry. I'm sorry people are being mean to you. But, like, not in this video anyway. I guess your previous video. But you had a bad take. You're on the internet. What do you... I'm sorry? You're on the internet. Listen, I don't have the... Again, I don't have the views that you do. I don't have the numbers that you get, right? But that's the internet. How long have you been doing this? You should know that's just the internet. They do that. People fucking call you a bitch regardless of what you believe at all anyway. They'll threaten to kill you regardless of your politics. It doesn't matter. I haven't gotten really a hate comment like that yet. I'm not big enough for that, I guess. I pray when I do, though, it'll be a hilarious, momentous day for me. It'll be a new milestone, right? I'm looking forward to it. Maybe if I've been doing this as long as you, I'd just be brushing it off at that point. But why do you care?
wrote women. At one point, someone told me that they wanted to rip my throat out if I didn't get rid of my vocal fry.
You think it's an actual threat? Is that what you think it is? Your vocal fry? What? What a weird comment.
Last time I made a video like this, I literally ended up on one of those like really weird red pill live stream channels where they like play your video to a live stream audience and like
Oh my god, it's like what I'm doing right now.
pause every few seconds to sort of like deconstruct
Absolutely.
and talk about how terrible your point is.
Yeah.
You haven't actually made your point yet because they paused in the middle of your sentence.
Well, I've been pausing through your sentences. Yes, I've also been discussing everything you've been talking about and trying to get down to your points broad tacks. I feel like I'm doing a decent job so far. This is my first time doing it. I'm not maybe at the level of some other streamers doing it yet, but I'm maybe hopefully I'll get there. I think I have good chops for that, and hopefully people find this video entertaining. Just just a side tangent from her video, I guess. But if what you don't feel like, maybe you weren't. Were you watching the whole video? Maybe you should watch the whole video, like I'm doing to you. I'm watching your whole video. Maybe I am pausing a little too frequently. Maybe
Oh,
I don't know.
Their live stream comments are showing up on screen, where their audience members are saying things like, "Why would anyone listen to this ugly buck-toothed bitch?"
Does that upset you? I guess it would, right? You're being called out for your bad opinions. I can I probably had some bad opinions on my videos too, I bet. Not that my videos aren't like super well liked, because again, I don't have those numbers, and it's just it's unfortunate reality, right? Obviously not everyone's going to like you though. So if it upsets you that much, why don't you just get off YouTube? Just get off. Just stop making videos, right? You're on the internet. You should know that this is gonna happen. This is an eventuality that is inescapable. No one, you will never not have a hate comment ever, right? I don't necessarily agree that they should be calling you a nasty bucktooth bitch. That's right. I don't agree with that. And maybe it's funny because I like it, because I'm a little different from both. I think that shit's funny, but you know, I don't necessarily agree with the comments, even if you are getting them, which you probably are.
And I'd like to drop her into a third world country and have her get shot up. What are you supposed to do with that information?
I guess there's not much you can do, to be fair. Yeah, there's not much you can do. Fair point. Fair point.
If you're watching from one of those channels, you do not actually have my permission to use this content.
Oh, hello! Oh, hello! Hi! Oh, hello! Hi, it's me! Hola! Hello! I bucktooth bitch! Oh my god. Hi, how are you? I'm here. Listen, I do have permission to watch your video like this. This is completely transformative. You're insane. Sorry. That's reality. It is objectively true that I do. And if you come after me, you would be punching down, miss. And you can't do that because, that's actually totally wrong. You can't punch down. Oh my god.
In your video. I've literally
Yeah, thumbs up. I'm here. Too bad for you, I guess. Not that you would care anyway. I'm completely off your radar for sure.
had someone come within 2 inches of my face to say, "Hey, I think you're pretty. Can you take your mask down so I can see your smile?" And when I take a step back...
Oh my god, they donned you? Hey, lady, how about a smile for me? They did the dawn. Unfortunately, you didn't have Miss Marvel's superpowers. Fortunately, I'm sure you're probably exaggerating. I can't affirm this though. So this is just all off on your word. I don't like taking personal anecdotes for granted. So I'm gonna leave it as is. It is what it is. Whatever her stories are.
He's in my personal bubble, and it is the middle of COVID. He tells me that I'm a bitch. I should be grateful that someone thinks I'm pretty, and then I still don't say anything. So he calls me a bitch again and leaves.
Can you imagine that? I'm some guy. I go up to some girl in a bra. Hey, put your mask down. Oh fuck, you're so pretty. Bitch! It'd always be like I'm joking, right? Man, if I just like go up to some old lady on the like, hey, wanna fuck? Just randomly at like a mall bench or something.
I was literally just waiting outside a public bathroom for my sister to come out.
Public bathroom? He approached you at a bathroom? Yeah.
Like, you should be able
Maybe
to
that is
go
weird.
on walks
I don't know.
without, like, the threat of someone coming up to you calling you a bitch because you didn't give them the proper attention that they wanted from you.
Well, you're in a public
Just a
place,
little-
so you're in a safe position, I assume, right? You could just call for help if something escalated. It seemed like, whatever your story was, the man seemed maybe a little crazy, I guess, from your perspective. I probably mine too, honestly. But then again, I don't just randomly talk to strangers. I avoid strangers. I don't like people, so I avoid them at all costs.
A lot. Freshman year of high school, my best friend got off
Oh, high
assigned
school.
later than she was assigned and walked a longer distance home just so she didn't have to walk past a motel where grown adult men would sit on plastic chairs and yell comments about her body. Freshman year of high school.
Oh God. Take the bus.
She was 14, 15 years old. Eventually, she got in trouble.
Walk
for
with
getting off
someone
at the wrong
else.
Stop. And she just never took the bus again. In college, one of my roommate's boyfriends literally ripped the TV off of her wall while they were in the middle of an argument. Why? Who knows?
Oh, so it's not even you, it's a
Make point.
friend.
Was just that angry?
How do you know what
Who
happened
knows?
then?
At one point during a completely different fight, she knocked on my door and asked me to come into the kitchen to mediate their argument. I was like, do you want me to bring my pepper spray out? She's like, no, I just want you to stand in front of the knives so he doesn't grab them while we're talking.
Grab a knife. He doesn't have to grab a knife. If you're that scared of him, you need pepper spray. He doesn't need one. He can manhandle you easily. Both of you at once, actually. Don't underestimate. You're saying if he ripped a TV off the wall, he does not need a knife to attack you both. Trust me. Jesus, that's a strong man. I'm not even sure I could do that. Yeah, his adrenaline must have been pumping hard. That would I work out a lot. I think I'm fairly strong. Like, I'm like Hassan Piker strong, Ooh, I got the big muscles. Ooh. But ripping a TV off the wall, like, was it not screwed in right? How was it literally like screwed into the wall? How long did it take him to break it off the wall? Was it instantaneously? I'm assuming it wasn't. I'm overanalyzing her probable fake
idiot.
story.
Okay, these are all just random examples off the top of my head, and like the stuff that I just detailed isn't even the worst of it.
Oh, that's not the worst?
So many people going through so much worse.
You get
That's why I
assaulted
think it's
or
completely
raped?
valid for Jen to be like, rage and fear are the baseline of any woman existing. If not the baseline of existence, there are at least emotions that are there alongside.
Listen,
everything else.
a man can go down the street and get assaulted. Men do get assaulted more frequently than girls do. In fact, a lot. Men actually get shot a lot more than girls do too, like killed brutally. Well, this can happen to anyone in any. Listen, if you're in like a city area, I would consider. Most cities are liberal, right? So they don't allow you to have guns. So that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate for you. I would like get a gun or some kind of weapon, even a knife or some sort. If you really feel like that in danger. It's unfortunate if that does happen though. Honestly, that is unfortunate.
You could be having a good time.
But again,
with
it
your
happens
friends,
to
and you're
everyone.
Still like, oh my god, is that guy following me down the street? Like you're still aware that there could be danger. These little moments
Sure.
they all build up to how women carry themselves in public.
Sure.
They build up to the constant situational awareness you have to have.
To be fair to myself, my personal experience, I've known girls that don't carry themselves like that, and they're perfectly fine in like the neighborhoods I've lived in. I've moved around a lot. In general in my life. I moved twice in this year, in fact. Yeah, I've just known girls who in high school and middle school they were fine. They felt safe in their neighborhoods. Nice communities. Nothing horrible. I lived in a very nice suburban neighborhood. No city. I don't like the city, so I don't go there. I assume the cities would be worse. I assume you're probably talking from a suburban. You don't look. I don't know. You haven't said it, so I don't want to make that assertion.
Every single item that you have in your bag at any moment's notice, because who knows, you might need to use that Hydro Flask in your bag in self-defense.
Yeah,
It's
okay,
up
you
to
have
the
one.
mental
Good.
Calculation you're making,
Problem solved.
Every time you're walking, you're like, where's the next building? Calculating the distance between like where you are and the next building, and like, would you be able to make that distance if someone came to try to grab you from the back? Would you make it? Getting in your car?
Oh no, if there's a guy coming after you and you're not like an Olympic runner, you're probably not getting away. Unfortunately. probably that. Listen, guys are fast, dude. Like, some guy, if he's fat, then you probably got a good chance because you're skinny. But if he's fit, oh no, you're fucked. If that was gonna happen. Yeah. So again,
in the door.
get a
Changing
gun.
out of the skirt.
Guys are
It's
afraid
a
of
really
guns,
key
just like
outfit
anyone
because
else.
you know your class isn't going to end until 8 p.m. and at that point you're walking home in the dark. You don't want to be walking home in a skirt in the dark. Girls have literally been killed for saying
Don't wear a
no to
skirt.
wanting to go out with someone. And you think that doesn't affect the way that we interact in public? We constantly know that we could be in danger no matter what we say. So we're constantly editing what we say.
Everyone's doing that. Everybody. In any social situation, everyone's editing what they say everywhere. Look at our current climate in cancel culture. Everyone's always walking on eggshells now. Has it created a more polite society? No. Be more thoughtful, like with what you want to say, right? Be polite, but be true, I guess. Or don't. I've known girls that are not walking on eggshells. They always say what they mean. You know, they're fucking more. They can be more belligerent than most men at some cases and points. You know, whatever. It is what it is, though. It happens to everybody. It's for everyone.
Which is frustrating, and it's a valid experience to talk about.
That's
even
fine,
if
whatever.
Parts of the audience don't want to hear it, which is why I've been getting slightly frustrated at comments like these.
I don't care about your
Especially
cherry pick comments. And the show is just not comparable to your life, lady. I'm sorry, it's just not. It's
comments
literally
like
not.
this. So you say you want Bruce to shush her because she has
What's this? Honestly, she just seems ignorant, especially that scene where she's venting on how hard her life is. I just wanted Hulk to push his finger to her lips and say, "How many times have you almost died? Have you tried to kill yourself yet? Oh, but of course you are, just perfect." He's right, though. Have you tried to kill yourself yet? No. How many times have you died? None.
hasn't tried to kill herself. Well, first of all, that is so out of character for Bruce to do. It's not even funny.
Yes, that's the joke, though. That's again, that's not his point. That comment's point. The comment was pointing out that Jen can't compare her own self-experience to Bruce because Bruce has obviously gone through far more suffering than her, and that what Bruce should have done was shut her up, but he didn't because that's not who Bruce is. He should have, but he didn't.
1983, all right?
Yes.
I'm 14 years old. I still have a nanny? That was weird.
I mean, this man didn't even interrupt Natasha while she was talking
They sterilize you.
to tell her, hey, just so you know, you're not a monster.
You still think you're the only monster on the team.
That was a very emotional scene between him and her. This is when they were trying to push together this Bruce Natasha relationship that completely fumbled. But nonetheless, we got to know more about Natasha in this scene. That she's sterile, and that if she wanted to be with Bruce, they could never have a kid. And if she wanted to be with Bruce, she'd always have to be worried about maybe him going fucking crazy at any point in time and not being able to control it and maybe killing her. Watch them like have sex, and then fucking he turns to Hulk and just his giant fucking cucumber cock just fucking destroys her body. Like.
And the fact that he created this space for Jen, so she has a safe space to express her frustrations, knowing that he will listen to her, that says a lot about Bruce, and it also says a lot about their relationship. Clearly, they're close.
Yes,
And
they were close.
This could just be me, but there's something that feels really off about comments like these. They just feel very similar to sentiments that I think end up causing more harm than good.
What kind of harm? That comment was true, though. It was correct in some points. Well, I mean, I understand the point he's making. If this is talking as if he's Bruce. How many times have you almost died, Jen? Have you tried to kill yourself yet, Jen? Oh, has the government hunted you yet, Jen? Oh, but you're very emotionally stable because, you've been catcalled your whole life. Right. You don't get it? Do you not get it?
Very similar to sentiments that I think end up causing more harm than good. To see people specifically say they want her to stop talking because she hasn't tried to commit suicide, that just reads as awful.
You get it though, right? You get it? You understand why? She's insufferable. She's acting like she knows the better of Bruce, even though the situation just happened to her. We've been over this video already. Jesus Christ. Oh, incredible, man.
Off to me. To me, the
How is it
mentality in
off?
some of these comments really perpetuates this culture where people don't talk about their experiences, don't get help for things
What do you mean, perpetuates a culture where people don't talk about their experiences? People are doing. We're in a culture where perpetually people are talking about their experiences all the time, and it's incredibly annoying. Fuck. Like you just did it right now. I don't. And there's a reason for that. It's because I can't verify whether your experiences are true. No one can but you. Or no one was there. There's no proof of it. You understand? Oh, Jesus Christ. Not that I'm. Maybe they did happen. I don't care, though. I can't possibly care. And not. And. I would like it. If people. I'm fine with people exploring and sharing their experiences. It's fine. That's what people are going to do. People want to learn about others, and that's how we learn about others. Right? Exploring ourselves, exploring what's happened to us in our lives.
that are affecting their daily life and don't even make efforts to try to find a community that will support them. All because they're constantly comparing their struggles to what everyone else around them is going through. But the thing is, A, there is always going to be someone who has it worse than you, and B, different people carry different weight differently. Something that might be really easy for you to deal with could be incredibly hard to carry for someone else.
I agree. Almost like, just like Bruce. Just like how it was incredibly hard for him to carry the Hulk all these years, and how fucking convenient it is and easy it is for Jen to do with her.
And even if it's a mundane issue, you still deserve a space to talk about it. You literally
We
do
have a
not-
space. You're on the internet right now. It's anyone can go. You can go on Reddit right now and fucking talk about how daddy raped you 100 times, all right? I mean, you might not get a lot of good comments back, but you can talk about it. Does it just you want to be vindicated about it? Well, how are you supposed to be vindicated if you don't have proof about your personal experience?
have to carry your burdens alone. To
Hence
me,
why
this
it's called an
mentality truly
anecdote.
just keeps people from getting the help that they might need. Just because other people have it worse does not mean you don't also deserve a space to talk about what you're going through.
I know. I don't think anyone has said that at all. No, I haven't at least. Maybe some of your comments that you've been feeling like that, but I don't see it. I'm not feeling that at all. You can talk about whatever you want. It's perfectly fine.
Experiences. And I think this is a fair point, right? Obviously, not everyone wants to watch.
What's this? It's so cringy listening to women in Western society talk about how hard their life is. Where do you guys cash in all these victim points you put so much effort into collecting? Yeah.
Western women. But this is my thought, right? If you know you don't like to watch Western women,
No, don't say it.
why watch a show
Don't do it.
about a woman living in the West
Don't
talking
do
about
it.
her life experiences?
Don't do
You
it.
don't have to watch everything
There. Nope.
Marvel puts out.
Nope, there it is. You don't have to watch it. Yeah, I just drop a decade's worth of material after, everything's gotten so shitty. It's like Game of Thrones. I was heavily invested in Game of Thrones. Seasons 6, 7, and 8 happened, and it destroyed everything about that show. It was horrible. There were people then saying, "Hey, don't watch it if you don't like it." Well, fuck you. I'm invested into the series. I have to watch it. I mean, I've gotta see what's gonna happen. Just like I've got to see what's gonna happen here. I have to. I'm invested in the MCU. Maybe that'll change, but at this point, I like watching the trash fire. I like watching seeing it burn down to the ground.
I'm probably never gonna watch The Punisher. If you know,
That's
there
fine.
is a pretty big
Pretty sure the Punisher isn't even connected to the MCU. It might be now. Oh shit. Cause Daredevil is now. It might be. It might be. I don't think the Punisher's gonna be in She-Hulk Attorney at Law though. Daredevil is, and Kingpin. Fuck. He was in Hawkeye.
chance you're not gonna like it, just don't ruin your day by watching it.
Well, listen, some people like watching shitty shows, right? And it doesn't ruin their day. It's just shitty. It's just a bad show, and people are allowed to talk about bad shows, and they are bad objectively. You not once have you proven to me that this show has been good so far.
That is such an easy solution. And in the meantime,
Yes, it's
you've
an
gotta
easy
just accept
solution.
that you're
Easy solution isn't always the right one, right? You agree with that? I'm guessing you could.
not always going to be the target audience for every piece of media
I agree as
that
well.
comes out. For example, I don't actually feel like I'm the target audience for everything in this episode. I personally really did not like the Steve Rogers sex life joke.
See that ass? Like, that ass did not deserve to die a virgin.
But what? That was like the only piece of comedy in that fucking episode. Like, what else was there? What else? The show is completely devoid of comedy. What do you like? You just like the characters of Jen, and her experiences, quote unquote, I guess.
That is literally bordering, not even bordering. That is what people tell people who are on the asexual or aromantic spectrum. If you don't have this certain
What?
in this episode, I personally really did not like the Steve Rogers sex life joke.
Uh-huh.
See that ass? Like, that ass did not deserve to die a virgin.
That is literally bordering, not even bordering. That is what people tell people who are on the asexual or aromantic spectrum. If you don't have this certain
What? What is this? Just a little too close to statements like, "If you don't do this, you're a waste of an ass and body." I know that's not what they were saying, but it just hits a little too close to home for me to find funny, I guess. I don't know what you're talking about. What? What?
Deserve to die a virgin.
that is literally bordering, not even bordering. That is what people tell people who are on the asexual or aromantic spectrum. If you don't
Are you saying you're aromantic and is that what you're trying to say? You're in the A's. You're aromantic. What? Another made up word. I'm asymmetrical. Jesus, I don't know what she's talking about.
have this
I
certain
didn't get that at
relationship,
all.
yeah, you're a waste.
That literally, that scene did not emulate what she just said in the slightest. I have no idea what she's talking about. Oh, fuck. She's just talking about how perfect his ass is and how his ass shouldn't be a virgin. I think she's attracted to Captain America, and she doesn't want him to die a virgin, I guess.
That is what Feige decided was so important. Calling up the Russo brothers and saying, hey, my favorite guys. Natasha, one of the only women Avengers we've had for years. How about we put a little bouquet of flowers together, send them down the river next to Tony's during the funeral. 2 seconds. Little scene. Just something, sweet. For me, because I
What?
think that would be important. No. that is not important. Making sure the audience knows Steve Rogers did not die a virgin. He knew how to fondue. Yeah, that's important. It really shows.
I mean, yeah, the show didn't know what it's doing with its comedy. I mean, if you're trying to say that they could spring that joke around like Natasha's ass, and everyone would be upset about it. People are upset about that comment too, but in different ways. I bet you girls would call it sexist. Us guys are just saying it's cringy and feminist, though. You would say it's misogynist to talk about a girl's ass, and I'm assuming anyway. I mean, defending like this episode and her feelings as a woman, so I think it's safe to say. Anyway, I don't know what she didn't like it. That's fine. I don't understand how she likes any of the comedy in this show, though. That was like maybe the only actual joke they tried to do in the episode. It was just floundered completely. Everything else is just horrible.
What timeline?
Horrible character drama.
That's the question. So yeah, even if it's like a Feige-approved joke, to me, Steve Rogers worth more than if he's.
Gao told TV Line that Rogers' virginity has been a discussion for years. I never cared about it.
had sex or not. I'm also getting slightly more put off by Marvel's insistence that sex is the end-all be-all of relationships.
I don't know what you're talking about now either. What characters have had sex in the MCU? Tony, Pepper, maybe Gamora and Peter Quill. I don't think Bruce and Natasha have. Who else? Vision and Wanda. Who else? That's it. But those characters had like good relationships though. Um, and I guess now Steve and what's her name, Carter. But it's different. Not that they don't show that anyway.
Feeling has been there for a while. It really picked up some steam when Eternals came out, and I read that interview that
That's right, Eternals. I don't remember that movie at all. I watched it for sure. I don't remember a single thing from that movie.
She specifically said that she wanted to like
This could be
humanize
so.
that
This
aspect
this
of
could
the relationship,
this could be
as if
true.
the
Whatever she's
emotional
talking
and
about, I don't know.
intellectual part
I don't remember.
of the relationship isn't the human part to me. That's the human part to me.
So far, the relationships in the Marvel Cinematic Universe have just been very mediocre at best. Honestly, the best one is Peter Quill and Gamora, and then they fucked all of that up. Oh, I also forgot about Thor and Jane. That one's horrible too. But the best one, yeah, I think I would venture to say the best on-screen relationship and character-driven relationship sexually is Peter, Star-Lord, and Gamora. They had the best one, I think, by far, and it probably was sexual, and we didn't get to see that obviously, but it was definitely deep until they fucked it up in Endgame. A lot of horrible things have been happening in Phase 4, people.
And somehow it just got worse
Unfortunate.
because I went to find a screenshot of Feige approving the joke, and I found this article which states that Jen is obsessed with Captain America's virginity because it's the human side of him, the real side. This
What?
man literally jumped on a grenade in boot camp as a
The human side of him? He's always been human. He's never not been human. He has no other side. What? Let me see this. As She-Hulk continues, viewers can expect to see more hilarious meta. And yes, horny moments like this. The horniness. Horrible. That stuff is my favorite. Maslany says with a laugh, she loved how Jen is obsessed with Captain America's virginity because it's the human side of him. The real side. The thing that she would relate to. What? But is you what? Who cares? Oh my God, Steve has gone through so much more than just his horniness. Fuck.
sacrifice to protect everyone else.
Oh my
and
God.
we are running with the fact that his sex life is his human side of him. Anyways, back to the video while I erase this article from my brain.
And I recognize that my opinions
Oh, you didn't
are
like it either.
not shared by everyone in the Marvel fandom. That is why the internet's new favorite end credit scene has probably become one of my least favorites. But
That one's your
just
least
because I don't
favorite
like
end credit
that
scene? Oh, jeez. I don't know. There are a lot of other ones that are come to mind. We won't go
doesn't
through
mean
those
I'm gonna
people.
start sending comments to everyone who liked it. I'm gonna say, okay, they thought it was funny. It must have been for them, not for me. That's fine. It's that easy. I'm not gonna go around.
I don't know. If they like that comedy, if they like that joke, I would think, what the fuck is wrong with them that they would like that joke? Like, why? Why on earth would you? That's funny to you? That's what you like in your comedy? That's strange. You have a weird sense of humor. that's what I would say. then I'd bring them to like a comedy show, like a Joe Rogan comedy show. Like, hey, watch this instead.
Personal
Maybe it's
insults
more
right
your
and
speed.
left just because someone has a different brain than me and likes different things and thinks differently. That would be ridiculous.
Yes, not everyone's the
Like, at
same.
some stage
We
of
get
the
it.
game, you've got to just respect that people relate to and like different pieces of media differently.
It doesn't mean that your opinion can't be wrong. I can respect your opinions here, talking about this show. I still think you're wrong. Objectively, they're very wrong. In fact, I don't think you've demonstrated really any of your points throughout this video, or why you really like this show, other than the fact that you don't like mean comments, and that these comments are being too harsh on the show. And if they're harsh, you can just stop watching. What else are you even really talking about? Well, you haven't even gone over the whole episode in its entirety, which is okay if you don't want to do that. This isn't that style format for this video you're doing. Again, see, I'm respecting you by giving you a fair assessment, right? I just hope you understand that anyone can make fun of you for any reason at all and disagree with you. And some of those disagreements may not be found, but some of them probably are.
This is kind of an aside, but if you have a very distinctive last name, here's just some friendly advice. Maybe don't use that account.
What are you saying? What? What are you talking about? Are you talking about this comment?
To comment things like you don't think women can drive, because someone could very easily
Well, they can't, right? Because Jen crashed. It was right there in the episode. Very clearly.
Google search your name and find out that you comment things like fap, 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 or nice rack.
Wait a minute. Did you Google that guy? Why did you Google him? Why? What? Why did you Google him? What? Why would you Google him? Why would you do that? Why would you put it on screen?
On forum posts. Like, the person who participates in digital catcalling thinks an episode where a woman calls out catcallers.
Oh my god, why was the quality 480p this entire time, guys? I'm so
Also, of
sorry.
course, like,
I didn't even fucking notice.
You would be able to drive perfectly if a spaceship landed in front of you. Like, I'm positive.
Absolutely, I could do it! My reflexes are unparalleled compared to the average male. I could drive the spaceship itself, not just the car.
You would handle it so well. We all know it. We all know it. Can
Yes,
know, like,
thank
people
you.
watched the Happy Hogan ogling Natasha scene in Iron Man 2, and we're just like, ugh, this is why men can't drive. Can't take their eyes off a woman. No.
But that's a genuinely funny scene, right? Because it's meta. Natasha knows that Hoagie's staring at her because she has to change in the car. And you see Jon Favreau's like, holy shit, I can't believe she's actually changing. Let me try to, I'll show her the situation right now. She's like, look forward. Like, oh, yep, right, totally forgot. Sorry. That was genuinely funny. The driving scene in the car in this episode was horrible. It wasn't funny at all. There were no jokes. There was the Steve Rogers joke. And they were talking about the armband. That was just a funny scene. That was in Iron Man 2 that happened. Iron Man 2 is not even a good movie. Probably better than this show. I gotta rewatch it, I guess.
That would be ridiculous. Again, it would be ridiculous.
Yes, it's
Also,
ridiculous.
just
Yes,
so
it's
funny
just
to
a
me.
comment on the internet, girl. It's just a comment. Do you think he's serious? He might be, but who cares? Anyway, it's just a comment. Well, I guess you cared enough to look up his name on Google.
It's like, do these people think that Feige did not approve this episode? He made a point to say that he approved.
Why would you want Kevin Feige? Why would you want him to even approve of this episode? He's been, oh my god, Phase 4, Kevin Feige and all the other people that are in productions of Phase 4, not the Russos, they haven't been really involved, I don't think, actually, but oh fuck, I'm forgetting all the other names. Favreau, has Favreau been involved recently? I don't even think so either. The guy who wrote who wrote the script to Loki and Doctor Strange, I forget his name. Whatever. They've been dropping the ball hard.
Steve joke. He definitely approved the rest of this episode too. Like, he definitely approved.
Yeah, it doesn't, just because he approved it doesn't make the episode good. People can make mistakes, like you've mentioned already.
Jen talking about her experiences to Bruce. So I don't know what some of y'all want to do with that information.
Are you
but
not going to
hopefully
talk
it's not
about the ending scene, the ending fight scene? I guess not.
continue to send hate comments to people. And here's the thing, right? I am sure there are a lot of people out there who are commenting this who are like decently upset that Bruce's backstory has not been explored and that Bruce.
Absolutely, people are very upset. Hulk has been very shafted through the MCU this entire time. He's had almost zero to no limelight. Or he hasn't had like a big time to shine really. Bruce in particular, not Hulk, I guess. Them together. It's been a whole problem in the MCU. But they really needed an actual Hulk movie. They had that with Ragnarok, but like Planet Hulk. But instead of it being Planet Hulk, it was Planet Thor. Really, it was his movie. They shouldn't have muddled those two plot lines together. But yeah, people are very upset. I'm upset. I want to see more Hulk. I wish they didn't kill him. Basically, ever since they killed him in Infinity War, he died. Well, Hulk died.
Trauma hasn't been given much weight, and I think that's fair. But it just seems like a lot of the reactions and the comments that I've been seeing have been a lot more about people jumping on the bandwagon and getting incredibly excited to show women that they truly do not want to hear them talk about their experience.
I don't think that's it at all. The bandwagon too. Maybe some people get on the bandwagon. Sure. I think that it's more likely that people are recognizing the show's flaws more than they are its strengths, right? Like this show is horribly flawed, and people have been wising up to the MCU's failings ever since Endgame. Honestly, even before that, it's been happening for a while now, and the normies are wising up to it. I think at least a little bit, but I think the ratings reflect that too. Not a lot of people are really interested in She-Hulk Attorney at Law as much as like some other movies or other shows. But if that's the way you feel,
like they really want to tell you how mundane
excuse
and
me.
foolish it is to talk about catcallers. And
it
the
is.
insistence
It's
on calling
honestly
them
foolish. Well, only if you're gonna compare it to like Bruce's tragedy. Fuck, just don't.
man-hating scene or a man-hating show just feels off to me too, because never once did she say all men suck. Bruce is
Yeah, I could agree. That's fine. I'm not on board with that. I don't really think it's a man-hating show. I think it's a pathetic show that destroys more lore from the MCU and tries to prop up this character, even though we haven't seen a lot from her and she hasn't really earned her place in the universe yet, and she's demeaning Bruce. I don't think that's man-hating. It's just bad writing.
literally
Bad
standing
writing.
there as proof that all men don't suck. Okay, we all know Andrew Garfield exists. That's a joke. Don't put celebrities on pedestals. But also Andrew Garfield, you know? She's basically just
Yeah, let me just suck Andrew Garfield's dick a little bit, guys. Hold on. Brief intermission. Gotta suck that Andrew Garfield dick. Spider-Man. I think she's got a crush, boys.
talking about direct experiences in her life, and just because there are worse hardships in the world does not mean you can't talk about what you're going through. And
Also means you probably shouldn't compare your middling experiences to something like someone being raped, right? Would you compare her catcalling to someone being raped? I'm sure you wouldn't. If you knew a friend who got raped horribly and was traumatized for that, and then you had a friend come up to you like, oh my god, did you see that guy last night? He was fucking catcalling me and everything. I hated it. Oh, it was disgusting. You know, like, would you not be like, oh, those models aren't comparable?
And just because a piece of media is not relatable to everyone doesn't mean it shouldn't exist. And that about sums it up.
I don't think
Hopefully
anyone's
now
saying
the first
that.
episode has aired, the people who hate it will stop watching it and stop clicking in to tell us how much they dislike it and us.
No, not gonna happen. I'm gonna keep watching it. I'm gonna keep telling you if it's shit. Cause you know what? It could get good. It probably won't. That's the trend. But it could. You gotta keep watching it. But I'm telling you now, I won't stop. I'm gonna keep doing that.
That would be great. I'm really hoping for that.
Unfortunate for you, that won't happen.
Thanks for sitting here as I rant about this yet again. We've got another In Defense of video, but yeah, thanks for watching, guys. See ya.
Oh my god, was that a video about her talking about Miss Marvel? It was so much fun. Holy shit. Wow. I can see why this has 2,000 dislikes, almost 3,000 now. Very, very bad. Very bad. Again, Jesus. I don't think she she made one really good point there trying to defend this show. Not at all. Not even in Jen's character perspective. She's horrible. I'm sorry. Jesus Christ. That was bad. Wow. All right. I had fun. That was fun. Woo! First time doing it, guys. Let's see if this video goes up. How many people will watch? ready to get like super banned because I don't have permission to use her video. Fuck you, I do. I'm gonna call you a bucktooth bitch now just because I can. uh, all right. Well, thank you guys for watching. I mean, this might be a recurring thing. I don't know. Maybe once in a while. I'm not sure how I feel about it yet. Let's see how it does. Probably not good. This has been a long. This is gonna be a long video for sure. Very, very long. But all right. I guess that's it, boys. Have a good day. See ya.